Good morning, Cooterville. Happy Sunday. Good to see you guys. I want to welcome Daz. Daz became a Cooter while we were jamming out to our Sunday morning jams. Thanks for being here. I always like setting the stage for like the tone of the day or the tone of the stream, and I hope you guys appreciate it. Music is my life, by the way. And Gina from West Virginia, thank you for the super chat. She said, happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. I celebrated 52 years on 11/11. I can't wait to discover the gray areas of the producer. That one has secrets. Oh, yes, she does. So we're going to play a little bit of lingo this morning. Thank you, Daz. Thank you for the support. Good to see you, Nicole. Hello, Adrian. Good to see you. All right. So on the lingo board for today, we're going to be covering this interview from September 25th, 2025 with Lauren and Susan Hendricks. Yours was the first. Well, happy belated to you, Tracy. Good morning, Lorna. You're watching from the Cooter DeVille. Nice. Nice. It is cool here in Florida this morning. It's sunny but cool. Good morning, Sarah. Are you enjoying the weather? So this interview is from after CrimeCon. This is their little CrimeCon post powwow. This is Susan Hendricks. She's going to tell you all about Susan. I don't have to give Susan any accolades because Lauren does it all for us. It's Arctic in England, really. Kira Burb, welcome to Cooterville.
She says, welcome to Cooterville. Everybody close your legs. Everybody coming in, close your legs.
Close your legs.
Thank you so much, Nicola. And thank you, Kim, for the belated birthday wishes. So they got together on September 25th, did this interview. I actually found a second one they did from 3 months prior. So I don't know how long it'll take us to go through this one. We might have to do that one in another stream, but these two are wild together. The dynamics are wild. You've got Susan, who is like this CNN headline news, sat in for Robin Meade, et cetera, you know, successful in her journalism, wrote a book on Delphi. And then you've got Lauren, who left journalism, professional journalism, for what reason, we don't know.
The law and crime.
And you've got this collusion of these two. So Susan Hendricks was the actual speaker at a few events for CrimeCon. She was a speaker on Friday night with law enforcement from Delphi. And then she was a speaker on Saturday with the Delphi families. So if you haven't hit the like button, now is a good time to. And Jerry, I can get down with that. They are twats. Hey, idiot. Hey, idiot. The only time you can say that to a chatter and not insult them. The book is awful. I haven't read it. Have you read it, Sorcerer? Hey, Flo. Good to see you, baby. I hope you're feeling good. Oh, she's a full sailor here. Yeah. Good morning, Sonia. Did my like button get moved? Not that I know of. You tried to read it? Oh, DB says we do know why HTC left journalism. She got a job. Oh, it was Wisconsin. It was Wisconsin, not Minnesota. But yes, you're right. She got a job and was talking to a guy on the phone in Nevada. And he said you shouldn't go because he's in love with her and they're meant to be. So she didn't take the job. And she married Dr. John. I can't even call him doctor. Let's just say John. Hello, Melissa Hart. It's good to have you here. Yeah, Wisconsin, Minnesota, tomato. It's true. I forgot about that. I forgot about the whole Revival's reading it. Oh, I did not know that. She said she left for her little boy. That's funny because she didn't take the job. I wonder if she continued working for the station in Boise after not taking the job. So I want to give you some background. On Jay is for Justice, I put a whole video together about this incident. And Susan did a live the night of the Holman panel, which I believe was Friday night. And she mentioned that there was extra security. But she said it was because there was a post on the Facebook page, the Delphi Facebook page, that was threatening to ambush the speaking engagement. So she did this live right before she went down to meet Holman, which is when we see Lauren down there with Grayson talking to the police, right? So Grayson and Lauren are down there talking to the police, talking about this whole stalker incident while she's getting ready to come down and meet them. Because remember, Grayson got the phone call while Lauren was talking to the cops. Oh, it's Susan. She's on her way down. Well, Susan did this little live stream from her bed in her room. And she was like, you know, there's beefed up security because there was threats to the panel to disrupt the panel. I'm hoping that the extra security isn't needed. Well, now we find out that Detective Bobby Joe Olson of the Aurora PD, who Lauren interviewed during the James Craig case, or for the James Craig case, sent an email to all these officers saying, hey, patrol CrimeCon for me. Idiot. Idiot just gifted 10. Thank you so much, Idiot. Who got him? Liz, Michelle, Toy Toys, Brady, Proud for Mom, Cherish, Miss Blue, Kay Loves Coffee, RJJ, and Jamie.
Just help a brother out here.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Idiot. You're a useful idiot. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much.
Just help a brother out here.
So, yeah, so we have this email go out from Bobby Joe, the detective in the James Craig case. Are you guys all aware of this history? Because if not, I'll play my video first, so you guys get an idea. Put a 1 in chat if you're aware of how this all went down at CrimeCon with Susan, Bobby Joe, and the cops and Christina. Put a 1 in chat if you're aware. Put a 2 if you're not.
Help a brother out here.
Thank you again for the cooterships. If I play it, it gives some background. Because really, her making that video right before she went down is pretty important to the whole story. And then we can watch how they talk about it. Good morning, Penny. 3. Play it, do it, lady. Okay, let me get it pulled up. I'm aware and I want you to play it. Okay. I think everybody needs to see it. Hold on, let me get it pulled up and then I'll read our Bajingo card. And then we will get started on, or lingo, not Bajingo, lingo. It's lingo with Lauren. All right, so let's go to J is for Justice, which is me. This is the channel where I run my mouth and give my opinions and act like an asshole. Over there, I act a little more professional. Okay, here we go. I'll put the link to this in the link in the chat too, the sausage link. All right, here we go. We will watch Susan and Lauren right after this. Hey guys, today we're diving into part of CrimeCon that didn't make the schedule. The Lauren, Susan, Bobby Joe production. Lauren claiming a speaker spot that only existed in her imagination. Susan Hendricks backing it up like she's guarding the royal throne. And Detective Bobby Joe Olson mobilizing officers to patrol a convention and hand out restraining order papers in the lobby. Because nothing says true crime professionalism like turning CrimeCon into Judge Judy live.
Susan,
Susan is not just an incredible broadcaster, CNN reporter and anchor, HLN anchor, a presenter, a podcaster herself. She has the YouTube channel Headline Crime with Susan Hendricks. She's also my dear friend, and people wanted sort of a behind the scenes at CrimeCon, and who better to do this with than the person I was hanging out with every day, Susan Hendricks. We're already giggling. There are definitely some behind the scenes stories going on. Hey, Susan, you also did an incredible job at CrimeCon. You presented awards. You did multiple panels with both the Delphi prosecutor, Nick McClelland, and Detective Holman.
All right, let's talk about the unsung hero of this storyline, the detective who somehow had time for homicide investigations and for cleaning up Lauren's personal drama. Lead investigator, Bobby Joe Olson. Yes, that Bobby Joe. The one working for the James Craig cyanide poisoning case. You think she'd be busy with, actual murders. But surprise, she apparently found room in her schedule for CrimeCon security detail for Lauren. Right before CrimeCon, Bobby Joe fired off an internal email to Aurora PD officers. She wanted officers to patrol CrimeCon, not because of a threat, not because of a case, but because Lauren would be there. You heard me, a homicide detective basically sending out, "Hey guys, FYI, please babysit the True Crime Convention for my favorite YouTuber." And then, because apparently the script wasn't messy enough, she also asked officers to serve Christina her restraining order papers at CrimeCon. Imagine going to a convention for podcasts and cold cases and getting slapped with paperwork in the middle of a vendor hall, all because Lauren said so. And let's be very clear, this has nothing to do with the James Craig investigation. This wasn't official police business. This was Bobby Joe using police resources to handle Lauren's personal beefs. And of course, the best part, this email went out before CrimeCon. And it seems from body cam from the event that Lauren let police officers know she was in fact a speaker at CrimeCon. A speaker she was not. So now we've got a homicide detective directing weekend officers to patrol a convention so Lauren could play celebrity and serve restraining order papers in the lobby like it's Judge Judy live. You can't make this up. Well, except Lauren did. At least the CrimeCon speaker part. I have attached the court order that Christina needs to be served with if she attends CrimeCon. Per the order, Christina is not allowed to attend CrimeCon. Lauren informed me she would have a printed copy with her in case an officer did not have one. Going through her social media pages, I would classify Christina as an agitator. She has posted several videos documenting her interactions with law enforcement. I have attached photos of Christina below, some of her social media pages, and names of some of her acquaintances. Lauren will be walking around the ballroom and speaking during various times throughout the conference. What? Lauren was not a speaker. This is where they got the speaker bullshit from. What? She told this Bobby Olson she was a speaker. Currently, Lauren and Grayson will be involved in the following scheduled events.
Lauren was never on the guest list, like as in the presenter list. And I don't know if you recall, but one of the dispatch officers, like one of the officers that was there on the body cam, said, "Oh, I think she's a presenter." And that explains why, because of that email, right?
Do you know where the other half is? I think she's going to be a presenter, so we'll go give it to her. I think she's going to be a presenter, so we'll go give it to her.
Right here, Friday, September 5th, 2:40 p.m., 4 o'clock p.m., and Saturday, September 6th at 10:20 p.m. These are the dates that Bobby Joe gave to the cops. And it says Friday, 2:40, from tragedy to justice inside the Delphi investigation and the prosecution, S. Hendricks. See that? Susan Hendricks. She's piggybacking off. Remember Susan Hendricks? Remember Susan Hendricks was on the bed. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to go do the Clue Awards. We had extra security." Remember the extra security?
Hey everyone, I'm in Denver, Colorado, getting ready to go downstairs, CrimeCon 2025, hosting a panel today with Lieutenant Jerry Holman and lead Carroll County Prosecutor Nick McClelland. There were no cameras in the courtroom, as many of you already know, and so they'll be talking about what went on inside of court, and they're open to answering questions from the crowd. This is a first for me, though. I've been to about, I think, 5 or 6 CrimeCons, and it's a first where they're upping the security in the crowd because of the pushback. And I would say threats to kind of show up and disrupt the panel on the CrimeCon Facebook page. So there'll be extra security. Hopefully they won't be needed. And we will be talking about the questions that you have, that so many people have. So if you have a question now, put it in the comments below, and I'll ask Jerry and or Nick. Also, how much CrimeCon has meant to the families. That's a panel I'll be hosting tomorrow with the family members. So today is law enforcement, the attorney Nick McClelland, also Jerry Holman, and his wife is here. I got to know her too. So I'm excited for this panel. Hopefully the extra security won't be needed.
Then you have the 4 p.m. the Daybell case with Nate Eaton. Then Saturday you have at 10:20 Hope, Heartbreak, and Justice, the Delphi case, Susan Hendricks. And 10:20, oh, it's the same thing. So Susan Hendricks.
Also, I just want to say, Susan, you also did an incredible job at CrimeCon. You presented awards. You did multiple panels with both the Delphi prosecutor, Nick McClelland, and Detective Holman, as well as a panel with the victims of Delphi.
I think she's going to be a presenter, so we'll go give it to her.
The Patty family, Anna, Abby, and Libby's families. And I just want to say you've been such an advocate for the surviving victims in Delphi, Indiana. And you also wrote the book Down the Hill, What Haven't You Done? And I just want to say, though, that before we get into maybe some more lighthearted stories, I just want to thank you for the hard work you did, and a sincere thank you to your advocacy and your panels, that you did an incredible job. And yeah, I was honored to be there, as well as at the Clue Award, sitting with the families as they received the Crime Fighter Award, presented to them by the one and only John Walsh. It was a really touching moment to be there at that dinner and at that award ceremony. So I'm so grateful that they won that award. It was well-deserved, and it was an honor to be there during that moment. One thing I want to say about CrimeCon, and this is what I wrote on my Instagram and Facebook when I posted photos that we took there, was I didn't know it could be both healing and fun. And I feel like it was healing, but we were also able to get together as people who cover something very tragic, and as the victims who have gone through the unfathomable, and also laugh and enjoy one another and talk and have a good time. And it's odd that that's the case, but it in that sense, it was even more healing for me. I just want to say that. And it was very fun with you and with everyone.
So that gives you a little bit of background, right? How everything went down. And that brings us to this entire interview. It is full of breadcrumbs. So we're going to have to pay attention as we play our lingo game. Let's go over our lingo board, and we shall begin. We've got on the board this morning, I love you, Gabby Petito, the families, Riz, CNN, Jerry Holman, Jason Landry, Lingo, Delphi, Advocate, Big Butt, Demon Hunters, John, You Can't Leave, Joe Petito, Photo Ops, Robin Mead. I can't say that shit without laughing. Fucking Robin Mead made the board. Nancy Grace, we got lots of name drops on the board. Not surprising. Nancy Grace, Hidden Gems, Grayson, Bed at 3 a.m., Pretty Woman. We got our friend Cheryl McCollum and Mike Patty. This is going to be a good game. Woo! We have not started yet. We're going to start from the beginning of this video, Melissa. So we're starting fresh. That was just a little intro to some background and context. So here we go. Here we go. This is again from September 25th, 2025.
Hello, Hidden Gems. I am with the Susan Hendricks, my dear friend. Last time, Susan, you were on Hidden True Crime. People said
the Susan Hendricks, the one that sits in for Robin Mead.
We want more. And Susan Susan is not just an incredible broadcaster, CNN reporter and anchor, HLN anchor, a presenter, a podcaster herself. She has the YouTube channel Headline Crime with Susan Hendricks. She's also my dear friend, and people wanted sort of a behind the scenes at CrimeCon, and who better to do this with than the person I was hanging out with every day, Susan Hendricks. We're already giggling.
Poor Susan was stuck with this bitch every day, like Velcro. Because Lauren had all this fuck shit against Christina and nobody wanted to fuck with her. So she was probably like fucking. Oh, and you know, that takes me back. The other interview, hold on. I know I started, but hold on. The other interview I found, I wonder if she wasn't sucking up prior. Hold on. Let's go to the watch later. It would be, shit, I think it's on my other save watch later. But I think that one was 3 months before. So I think she was like, maybe like sucking up to her 3 months before to cozy at CrimeCon. You know what I mean?
There are definitely some behind the scenes stories going on. And yeah, and
sure
also I
are.
just want to say, Susan, you also did an incredible job at CrimeCon. You presented awards. You did multiple panels with both the Delphi prosecutor, Nick McClelland, and Detective Holman, as well as a panel with the victims of Delphi, the Patty family, Anna, Abby, and Libby's families. And I just want to say you've been such an advocate for.
Yeah, remember, she also told Christina she loved her.
The surviving victims in Delphi, Indiana, and you also wrote the book Down the Hill, What Haven't You Done? And I just want to say though,
what haven't you done? She's such a bitch.
book Down the Hill, What Haven't You Done?
CNN
and I just want to say though that before we get into maybe some more lighthearted stories, I just want to thank you for the hard work you did, and a sincere thank you to your advocacy and your panels, that you did an incredible job. And yeah, I was honored to be there, as well as at the Clue Award, sitting with the families as they received the Crime Fighter Award, presented to them by the one and only John Walsh. It was a really touching moment to be there at that dinner and at that award ceremony. So yeah.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks so much. It was a whirlwind. Kind of, you look back and you think, oh my gosh, there's so much going on, and it's so fast. And so I've learned through the years to kind of slow down and be in the moment, not to take everything in my own moment. Because if I don't feel prepared, then I feel kind of frazzled. Because we're used to talking to the camera. At least that's my training, either being live or a camera. And really, you're in the room when you're in a studio with like an intern and scripts, and you're making jokes and you play music. I used to fill in for Robin Mead a lot, who had a great morning show, and it was kind of her take. She'd play music in between, so it was a lot of fun, but it's really you and what you're comfortable in front of. So a live audience always makes me nervous, but I learned through the years at CrimeCon, especially, it's so dark and the lights are so bright that when you walk out on stage, you really don't see anybody but the front row. And when it was Nick McClelland and Jerry Holman, it was the families who I know well. So I saw Amanda, so I'd look there, wave, and then I kind of pretended I was alone. They say pretend people are in their underwear. That never works. But I pretended I was alone. But in my room, it was, I was writing on kind of cards that I just did Nancy Grace's show. So I have notes. Not for you. I could chat with you forever with no notes.
Did she say she just got done with Nancy Grace?
I was writing on kind of cards that I just did Nancy Grace's show. So I have notes. Not.
She just did Nancy Grace's show. All right, we've got so far Nancy Grace, Robin Mead, CNN, the families, and Gabby Petito. We got a lot of names in this one.
Not for you. I could chat with you forever with no notes. But kind of.
So you just finished with Nancy. We're honored. You're honored you made time for Hidden True Crime too. From Nancy Grace to Hidden.
Where this is where I feel most comfortable with the hidden gems. And so it was.
This is where she feels the most comfortable with the hidden gems. We got hidden gem. Damn. I thought hidden. Yep, we do. We got hidden gems, and we've got. I think we're all caught up. Delphi.
I was prepared, but Jerry Holman called myself. I'm like, where are you? You should be down here. And he laughed. But I was just preparing. So then once I'm on stage, you know that once you're prepared and being in news, broadcast news, then you feel like, okay, I can have a conversation. And we met the night before with Nick and Jerry. We had dinner. You were there.
Yes.
And, but Nick's so funny. I learned he's very type A. I didn't know him that well.
Okay, so we got pictures thrown in here. There's Laura. Look at Grayson. Yes. Where's Christina? There you go. I don't know who this is. Who's the brunette? Is that like his wife or something? Grayson, Lauren, Susan, Nick, and Jerry. We got Holman on the board. All right, where is he? Grayson took my photo with Lauren. I was creeped out by her immediately. I was asked to post the pic and tag her. I never did. You didn't get one with Grayson? Paper plate face. Jerry Holman is one of the investigators from the Delphi case. Oh, shit. Look at the drinky drinks. Look at, she's like, later on, Joe Schmo's going to buy me some tequila.
But Nick's so funny. I learned he's very type A. I didn't know him that well. I saw
Nick's so funny. I learned he's like type A.
what a great job I believe he did during the trial, but he's very type A. So he's like, are we going to go through the slides? But that helped. It was preparation. And then I thought he did great.
Photo
He
ops.
did good, great. That was incredible. So well done, really. And I think it was so good for the audience to be able to hear from them in person and to hear.
I watched
sort of
your
their
interview.
side.
Sorry to interrupt. You did a great job with Jerry Holman and Nick. So you've interviewed them both. I
Yes.
hadn't interviewed Nick.
So you've interviewed them both. You got one up on me, girlfriend.
I knew kind of, he said, you can ask me anything. So I knew that, but I've known Jerry Holman for a while. But I thought Nick did great. He did say he was a little apprehensive. He had never been to CrimeCon. And if you just hear the name, you don't know really what it's going to be like. But I thought
this was interesting. This is interesting. So the investigator, Holman, or whoever who's she talking about? Jerry or Nick? They were hesitant. And you're going to hear more about family members being hesitant about CrimeCon. This lady right here, Susan Hendricks, thank you for the sub, Rena. This lady right here, Susan Hendricks, is literally the mouthpiece for CrimeCon. It was her job to get certain people on board from Delphi to get on that stage. It's very weird.
Jerry Holman for a while. But I thought Nick did great. He did say he was a little apprehensive. He had never been to CrimeCon. And if you just hear the name, you don't know really what it's going to be like. But I thought he was good. He's like, this is surreal. And he always gets the negative. I do want to point that out. He told me he had a file of like, some things are kind of weird in that file, he said, but some he could consider threats. So that's what's all encompassing for him. So this was very different for him to feel kind of the positivity from the crowd.
I am so grateful that he was able to see that, and as well as, again, Abby and Libby's families. So, and it was so nice. I was able to spend time with Anna, Abby's mother, and
I was able to spend time with Anna. These people, stop. Listen to this part. This is Abby's mother of Abby and Libby.
hear a little bit more from her. I know that she's been a little bit more quiet, and she's an incredible woman and was an incredible mother. And it's heartbreaking what these families
I
have lost.
reached out to her, I think 8 months ago, to say, hey, if you want to tell me to go shove it and you don't want to be there at CrimeCon, that's okay, but we'd love to have you there. And she had been to the...
See, if the lady says no, Leave her the fuck alone. This tells me that she talked her into it, and I don't think that's right. I don't. If that lady, the mother of the victim, was like, no, leave her the fuck alone. Hey, Liza.
Reached out to her, I think 8 months ago, to say, hey, if you want to tell me to go shove it and you don't want to be there at CrimeCon, that's okay, but we'd love to have you there. And
that is so gross. You can tell me to shove it, but we'd love to have you at CrimeCon. Ugh. I just hate this. I think CrimeCon is weird. I think it's exploitive, and I think it's gross. And I really don't care how integrated she got. This is just, you already wrote a book. You already made money off the book. You made money off your reporting of the trial. Leave them alone, Susan literally thought her inviting Turtle Boy to CrimeCon meant that he could get Karen and her literally multi-million-dollar lawyers to attend to. Are you serious? Hey, Becky. She invited Turtle Boy? Wow. Hey, Domino. Welcome in. That is weird.
What these families
I reached out to her, I think 8 months ago, to say, hey, if you want to tell me to go shove it and you don't want to be there at CrimeCon, that's okay, but we'd love to have you there. And she had been to the one in Nashville in 2018 with Jerry Holman, so she hadn't been back. And
well, obviously she had a bad experience if she hadn't been back. Okay? She went years ago and never came back. But here we got Susan calling her up. You can tell me to shove it. Ugh.
I've learned, and you know this too, Lauren, more than most, that different family members mourn differently. It's very different.
Oh, well, no shit. People mourn differently. Do you think this is something you just figured out? Oh my God. This really shows me that mainstream media is not very choosy. I hate it. I literally see right through these people nowadays. Like, the more we see, the more I see through. It's just fucking weird.
And most, that different family members mourn differently. It's very different. And we saw that in the Koberger case with the Gonzalez family, very face forward, wanting to fight. When Ethan Chapin's mom is more of, okay, I don't need to see his face. It won't bring my son back. So everybody's different. So with Anna, it's been very different, but I'm so glad that she was there. And I think she was too. She was happy that she decided to go. She was apprehensive, but then she's like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Every family, every victim grieves.
She went. She was apprehensive. You heard it from her own mouth. She was happy she decided to go. She was apprehensive, but now she's happy. Sorcerer, I don't know.
There and I think she was too. She was happy that she decided to go. She was apprehensive, but then she's like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Every family, every victim grieves differently. And just to allow that process for each family, whatever it's that they need. So,
Did you see that with Lori Vallow and covering the many?
Oh, look at Lauren. Lori Vallow. Did you say Lori Vallow? I love Lori Vallow. I love talking about Lori Vallow, not Lori Vallow. Look at her face. Oh, she couldn't even wait to open that mouth about Lori Vallow. Lori Vallow Jr. here.
Every victim grieves differently, and just to allow that process for each family, whatever it's.
Hey,
that they
YB.
need. So,
Did you see that with Lori Vallow and covering the many trials?
absolutely. Well, that's another great example of a case that has multiple different families and victims, and each family processed and grieved differently. And some, the Woodcocks we want to talk, we want to share. Whereas Tammy Daybell's family more so was saying, hey, I think we're going to lean back and allow investigators to take it over. Whereas Tammy Daybell's Aunt Vicky has said, you know what, I will be a.
God, this is nauseating. Especially after knowing that Kay had found out that she was shit talking her. She still sat there and talked about her.
spokesperson on behalf of Tammy. And so each family sort of, again, grieves the way they need to grieve and copes the way they need to cope in tragedy. And I think that one thing I love about you, you're my friend, but also someone that is a part of
for it.
What victims go through, survivors, victims, however they want to be labeled. I also respect whatever label they want.
Label? Survivors, victims, whatever label they want. Why do you have to label them anything, weirdo?
Victims, however they want to be labeled. I also respect whatever label
did I miss the I love you? Where was that? I love
was
you.
saying, hey, I think we're going to lean back and allow investigators to take it over. Whereas Tammy Daybell's Aunt Vicky has said, you know what, I will be a spokesperson on behalf of Tammy. And so each family sort of, again, grieves the way they need to grieve and copes the way they need to cope in tragedy. And I think that one thing I love about
Carolina.
you, you're my friend, but also someone that is a part of seeing what victims go through, survivors, victims, however they want to be labeled. I also respect whatever label they want, to allow them to feel what they feel and just be where they need to be, when they need to be there, and to give them that space to process.
Hey, Emmy.
And to help them through it too.
I think most of your viewers are familiar with your excellent coverage of the Delphi trial, but early on, Mike kind of took on that leadership role. I think they're clearly thrown into something they never think will happen to them. And I was saying it during CrimeCon that, you know how we're kind of linked through marriage or through relationships that we have through life. Well, through tragedy, those families, Abby and Libby's, are always linked. And Mike, this was March 2018, so just a month after the murders of Abby and Libby, he stood up to the podium and he thanked Abby's family. He thanked Anna, and he said they gave him this kind of statement that he read and said, they don't want to talk now. They respect our family for wanting to talk, so I'll take the role. If you want to talk to them, they don't want to talk right now, come to me. So I think that Mike kind of had that leadership role, and he still kind of does. I always know, because that was the second panel I did, I had him the furthest from me, because I always know that whatever I ask him, I kind of know what he's going to say, or somewhat of what he's going to say. So I wanted Anna closest to me, and then Mike down there that I could kind of yell across. But he did take that role of that action type of guy. And you saw Lauren in court every single day. He was taking notes after notes.
Yes.
And think about it.
So they're talking about the grandfather of the victim.
Your granddaughter that you lived with, that you were raising with her mom, but that you were raising. And he said he would walk by the stairs every day and look at her picture and say good morning to her. And to see him and that kind of stoic guy, really nice, but stoic, the heart-wrenching days in court, and him just taking note after note after note. But he was there every day. Yeah,
he was. And again, I love being able to hear more from Anna too on that panel. So thank you for that. Thank you for, and thank you to Anna, I guess I should say, for sharing. I was listening, Anna, and I'm so grateful that
we got Mike Patty on the board. Yeah, this is just disgusting, isn't it?
They won that award. It was well-deserved, and it was an honor to be there during that
Her
moment.
dad, Anna's dad, and Abby's grandfather is just the sweetest person. We follow each other on Facebook, and he lives in Michigan.
Oh my God, this is we follow each other on Facebook. This lady is a contact for CrimeCon. How much do they pay you, Hendricks, for bringing guests to the panel? How much do you get paid for this gig? Because it seems to me like she's a fucking contact. Yuck.
Honor to be there during that
Her
moment.
dad, Anna's dad, and Abby's grandfather is just the sweetest person. We follow each other on Facebook, and he lives in Michigan, where Anna was raised. And in my book, I mentioned kind of the close bond that Abby had with him.
Stop it. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I didn't see the web sleuths that she did the other night yet. Thank you, Lana.
And she would go to Michigan for a couple of weeks every summer, and they would ride horses and watch Andy Griffith. And he was just, obviously, they're all heartbroken and never expected this, but that relationship was very special. And so Cliff is his name. So I was asking Anna about him, but it was meant
Why are we dropping everybody's names? These people are nothing but clout chasers with true crime victims. That is weird. Black Knight, that's kind of what it seems like. Like, I've never seen anything like this. What happened to reporters just reporting? What happened to reporters just reporting on the story? This is gross to go deeper with them.
the court, and it's so true, the generational trauma that this person caused by that one day, that one moment. And who's I think is unique in their kind of
here we go. More photo ops. This is at the Gabby Petito Foundation dinner. We have, from left to right, actress Heather Locklear, who was arrested for domestic violence a few years ago. Gabby Petito's mom, her stepdad, Susan Hendricks, Grayson, Lauren, and Gabby's stepmom. Wild. Wild. So apparently Heather Locklear is a huge supporter of the Gabby Petito Foundation. We've got several photo ops, Teresa D.
unity in the way they deal with the tragedy, I think, are the Petitos. So Gabby's stepdad and dad and mom and stepmom, they're all united. And that's not just a front. You know that. We saw them again.
They are
several.
There's another one. There's Joe Petito, Jim Schmidt, Gabby's stepdad, and Nicole, Gabby's mom, Lauren, and Grayson.
Legitimately united. Yeah, the four of them completely united. It's incredible. And the four of them, Gabby's four parents started the Gabby Petito Foundation together. They're very close and they were all there together.
Good morning,
It was nice
Pines.
to hang out with them. And one thing I want to say about CrimeCon, and this is what I wrote on my Instagram and Facebook when I posted photos that we took there, was I didn't know it could be both healing and fun. And I feel like it was healing, but we were also able to get together as people who cover something very tragic and as the victims who have gone through the unfathomable, and also laugh and enjoy one another and talk and have a good time. And it's odd that that's the case, but it in that sense it was even more healing for me. I just want to say that, and it was very fun with you and with everyone.
Just help a brother
You
out.
too. This always stood out to me. So it was my first CrimeCon. It was in New Orleans. It was 2019.
So she's the longtime CrimeCon person too. 2019 was her first one. Maleficent, thank you for being a cooter for 8 months. Thank you for your support. Yeah, why do these people need to heal? Why do these people need to heal? Ugh.
And so
very fun with you and with everyone.
That's what she says at the very end too. It was very fun with you and everyone. There wasn't an everyone because no one wanted to hang out with your ass.
Even more healing for me. I just want to say that. And it was very fun with you and with everyone.
You too. This always stood out to me. So it was my first CrimeCon. It was in New Orleans. It was 2019. And I remember I got to know the families well at that point. Mike and Becky, especially at that particular time. Tara, I met at that time. So we're eating dinner together. It was in the hotel. You know how everything it's in different cities every year. And so we were just sitting at kind of a bar restaurant. And a couple of people I worked with at HLN and CNN anchors and journalists came over and went, "Hey, Susan," and saw the family.
Oh my God, this is horrible. What did they do this for? So they could talk about themselves? Yeah, she needs to worry about her kid. You're right.
And kind of froze and walked away. Not to be mean at all. Very nice people, friends of mine. They didn't really know what to say. And so what always stood out to me, and Kevin Balfe, who started CrimeCon with his brother, Red Sea Ventures, said, "You know what, Susan?"
Wait, what?
Balfe, who started CrimeCon with his brother, Red Sea Ventures.
Oh, I thought she said Retsy. I'm like, what? It's her fucking teeth. Sheet Ventures. Okay, so she's talking about the people who started CrimeCon, the two brothers who are Mormon, who used to work for Glenn Beck. Okay? The two guys that started CrimeCon worked for Glenn Beck, scheduling his podcast, producing his podcast, and things like that.
Not to be mean at all. Very nice people, friends of mine. They didn't really know what to say. And so what always stood out to me, and Kevin Balfe, who started CrimeCon with his brother, Red Sea Ventures, said, "You know what, Susan, they just want to be normal." Because people don't know what to say. So the fun, that's where the fun comes in, I think. They're still who they were. There's a time before this tragedy happens, and there's a time after. But they don't lose. Like, hey, you want to have a mozzarella stick? Or Joe Petito's hilarious, naturally hilarious. You could tell he...
Oh, my God. He's hilarious. Oh, he's so funny. He's a type A personality. Because Mrs. Ed, I think because it's networking.
Always was. And I think that's healing for him to be himself, like to say funny things. And so I don't think they want everyone around them to be somber, if you're following me. Like, the murders of the...
We have our first lingo of the day with Joe Petito, Photo Ops, Robin Meade, Nancy Grace, and Hidden Gems. Let's get out our turkeys this Sunday morning for the first lingo of the day. You guys ready? Red Seat Ventures needs a bingo square. We got a lingo. Can we get some Laurens in the chat? Some bingo.
Abby and Libby, horrific, but they formed friendships and bonds that they want to be okay. And Becky said that she always kind of felt guilty that she was doing things, and Libby wasn't there. And Kelsey said that too. Then she...
Oh my God, all these name drops. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. Is she related to Krish?
Started to think of things. Libby would want me to have fun, would want me to ride a scooter that I never rode, would want us to, go in the ocean when it's freezing. So I think they had to shift to kind of have it be okay to have fun.
And that's a perfect example. And that's what CrimeCon does too. A lot of victims and survivors attend CrimeCon, and you're saying it is okay to have fun. You don't have to feel guilty. Let's enjoy one another for the weekend. And we certainly did, Like I said, thank you for introducing us to the Petitos and the Schmitz family. They were wonderful. So many that,
I love you.
Yeah, it was fun.
What the? I love you. Do you hear that? This is good. This is wild.
They were wonderful. So many that,
I love you.
She doesn't love you. Look at Lauren's looking at her like, I can't fucking stand you. Oh man, I love you. When you start throwing around this I love you shit, you know that shit's fake.
Was in the Schmitz family. They were wonderful. So many that,
I love you.
Yeah, it was fun.
I have some funny moments.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's hear. Let's hear.
No, go with the potatoes. I'll go ahead.
We even attended the you're on the board of the Gabby Petito Foundation, and we attended the dinner together in New York. And that was an incredible.
We got another photo op. Oh my God. At least Susan Hendricks has a cami underneath her dress. Lauren, not so much. This was a foundation benefit dinner, guys. What was the theme? Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep? I agree, Sorcerer. I'm with you. I think it's wild, weird too.
Did the dinner together in New York, and that was an incredible annual event that we want to be able to help with at Hidden True Crime again and again. So yeah, it was enjoyable to unite once again. This time in Denver.
They love you. Joe's like, Lauren, Grayson, hugging you guys. So they love you. It's a bond.
Ugh. They love you. Lauren, Grayson. There we go. We got a Grayson on the board for a second lingo. Are you kidding me? We got our second lingo with Grayson, Photo Ops, Delphi, and CNN. Scorpion, Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and her tits almost fell out too. You guys are funny. You think the clothes are fine? Don't come for you. We won't. Oh, Debbie.
Unite once again, this time in Denver.
They love you. Joe's like, Lauren, Grayson, hugging you guys. So they love you. It's a bond that and I say this all the time. I'm even getting sick of hearing it from myself, but how much, what kind of an atmosphere, a unique atmosphere it creates for the families to heal, to be with people who truly understand, for journalists. So I see people like I saw Brian Enton, and Vinnie Politan. I've known Vinnie for years. I just really kind of met Brian, but you see people that you know, and you're saying, oh my gosh, and you have that in common, like the coverage of Casey Anthony we did together every single day, Jodi Arias, and he's a wonderful person, Vinny. So you kind of...
Oh my God, now we got Vinny. I didn't get Vinny on the board. But my God, we should have counted how many names they actually drop. Because we've got to be on at least 20 by now. If I had to guess. We were on 15 to 20 names for sure. Look at her eyes. Vinny. We want Vinny. Calctato. She's like, Jesus Christ, lady, we get it. Enton, Vinny, fuck. I mean, and Vinnie Politan. I've known Vinny for years.
I just really kind of met Brian, but you see people that you know, and you're saying, oh my gosh, and you have that in common, like the coverage of Casey Anthony we did together.
Emmy Joe, we will, because there's like no ending to the name dropping with these people. Hey, Pretty in Pink, good to see you.
Every single day, Jodi Arias, and he's a wonderful person, Vinny. So you kind of see people, right, that you haven't seen in a while. And then you're right, it has a way of doing that. Then there's meet and greets. There's so many things that you can pick and choose kind of.
God, is this a CrimeCon commercial? And then, but wait, for your 1800, but wait, there's more. Justin Lum would never act this way. No, he would not.
So you kind of see people, right, that you haven't seen in a while. And then you're right, it has a way of doing that. Then there's meet and greets. There's so many things that you can pick and choose, kind of panels and meet and greets. And I was there with Jerry Holman and with Nick McClelland. And Nick is saying, this is a little weird. He wasn't used to it. Not weird in a bad way, but weird to get. So people would come up, they pay a lot of money for these badges. You could be like platinum or gold, and to meet the families. And mostly women were there, but some men. And they went up and said, great job during the trial. And
oh my God. Mostly women there, but some men. Yeah, we heard from the men that go to CrimeCon. They're ready to shoot themselves. Oh, you did a great job during the trial. Why do these cops need accolades at CrimeCon? Who's JSP?
Badges, you could be like platinum or gold, and to meet the families. And mostly women were there, but some men. And they went up and said, great job during the trial. And I think it meant a lot to them. And I could see Jerry Holman kind of tearing up. So there's that.
It made Jerry Holman tear up. being told he did a great job. Oh, I'm sure they get paid, Kesey. I wonder how much she gets paid to reel people in. Yeah, remember when Gray Hughes went? Yeah, he went a while back. It was a little different then. It was a little different then. It wasn't like it is now.
I think it meant a lot to them. And I could see Jerry Holman kind of tearing up. So there's that. There's so many things going on, so many facets
Linda.
at once.
Yeah. So the behind the scenes, though, we saw your panels. I'm trying to think of some of the stories we had too. There was some good times in the evening. Grayson pointed out that there was one night where she said, "Lauren, I didn't know you could do that," and we went to bed at 3 a.m. So,
we got that on the board, I believe. Bed at 3 a.m. Grayson said, "Lauren, I didn't know you could do that." Hi, Jax. Good to see you.
we had there was some good times in the evening. Grayson pointed out that there was one night where she said, "Lauren, I didn't know you could do that," and we went to bed at 3 a.m.
Unreal, man. You were down in the bar till 3 a.m., but you were so scared. Hi, Jessica. Grayson said, "I didn't know you could do that." She was hanging down in the bar till 3 a.m. with Joe Petito. Did you guys know that?
We had to. There was some good times in the evening. Grayson pointed out that there was one night where she said, "Lauren, I didn't know you could do that," and we went to bed at 3 a.m. So we had.
Joe Petito. We keep going back to him because he's the funny one. And he called me, "What are you doing? Get down here. Lauren's down here." I'm like, "I have a paddle tomorrow." "That's all right." I said, "No, I have to." It was like me in college. "I have to study. Goodbye."
I know. He was like, "Where's Susan?" I'm like, "Call her. Here's my phone."
Yeah.
She gave Joe Petito her phone to call Susan up in her room and ask her to come down. But she was so scared for her life. I wonder if Joe Petito was like guarding her from her stalker. That's a good question. My cat's name is Karen. She's just doing this to rub it in that girl's face that she had to leave. It's not subtle and so pathetic. Can't believe I was once a gem. Oh, sorry you had to go to bed, Susan, but we were hanging at the bar. Right, drunk calling with Joe Petito.
He's like, "Goodbye tomorrow." "That's all right." I said, "No, I have to." It was like me in college. "I have to study. Goodbye."
I know. He was like, "Where's Susan?" I'm like, "Call her. Here's my phone."
Yeah.
He's like, "Get down here." Yeah.
"What are you doing?" I'm like, "Tomorrow night. I have a panel in the morning. I'm nervous." So that was fun. They're always fun. And I saw Nicole.
There's
Gabby's
another
mom,
name.
The next morning, she's like, "Oh my gosh."
Nicole. We're name dropping Nicole.
So it is that weird thing.
I saw Nicole the next morning and she's like, "Oh my gosh." What's the point of this story? To say that you know Nicole Schmidt? I wish the victims could see through this. It's so transparent. Hey, Dreams. Good to see you, hon. Thank you again for my gifts. I agree with that, Pines. She said this has to be some kind of mental illness to want to make victims famous and then force them to heal so you can exploit them and make them feel like there is some kind of bond. Flo. Don't stress, Gems. I supported blue gumballs. If you know, you know.
So that was fun.
"Where's Susan?" I'm like, "Call her. Here's my phone."
Yeah.
He's like, "Get down here." Yeah.
"What are you doing?" I'm like, "Tomorrow night. I have a panel in the morning. I'm nervous." So that was fun. They're always fun. And I saw Nicole, Gabby's mom, the next morning. She's like, "Oh my gosh." So it is that weird thing that you walk down.
Now, why is that? She's like, "Oh my gosh." Like, these people are just talking to talk to talk themselves up, to talk CrimeCon up. Ugh.
On the hall, and you see like a John Walsh and his son.
You see a John Walsh. See, I don't like how they word this shit. He's not a John Walsh. He's John Walsh. You see a John Walsh. I mean, I get the guy has TV shows and shit, but he's still Adam Walsh's dad. Like, hey, John Walsh. Can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Walk down the hall, and you see like a John Walsh and his son, Callahan Walsh. So it's interesting who you see there.
Yes.
Oh, come to CrimeCon. You'll just be walking down the hall and you might just run into Gabby Petito's mom, or you might just see a John Walsh. Get your tickets now. Pre-sale, on sale now. Save 10%. Fuck, why don't they just put up a little fucking advert right in the middle of this? God. You never know who you might see. Come to CrimeCon. Fuck.
Gabby's mom the next morning, she's like, oh my gosh. So it is that weird thing that you walk down the hall and you see like a John Walsh and his son, Callahan Walsh. So it's interesting who you see there.
Yes. What also I want to say, it was really fun to see, you and I walked around together. Neither of us had a booth. I don't think we like commitment, either of us. We just want to be able to walk where we want to walk, right? And greet people. And it was so fun.
Wait, what? We want to be able to walk where we want to walk. Yeah, you sure did, didn't you? You sure did.
Of us. We just want to be able to walk where we want to walk, right? And greet people. And it was so fun to be able to see people say hello to you. And it was so fun.
We couldn't get far. Everyone
Use code GEMS for 2% off.
was stopping Lauren. We couldn't get far. It was really like you're walking at the time of like Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts.
Oh my God. She just called you a hooker. Oh my God. No, she did not. We got Pretty Woman on the board as well. This is the funniest shit ever. She literally just called her a hooker, a cleaned up hooker. It was like walking through the hotel with Pretty Woman. Look at Lauren. She's like, excuse me? Susan's like, take that, bitch. What a comparison. Julia Roberts. Okay, wait, we got to hear that one again because that's funny as fuck. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
And greet people. And it was so fun to be able to see people say hello to you. And it was so fun to
We couldn't get far. Everyone was stopping Lauren. We couldn't get far. It was really like you're walking at the time of like Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts.
Oh,
So
it was
everybody.
Lauren's like, excuse me? That's fucking awesome. Pretty Woman. Oh, shit. Why do I find this so funny? These ladies are so fucking catty. Look at her. She's like, should I say it? Look at Susan. She like, should I say it? Hey, Arnhem, good to see you. You came in right in the nick of time. Susan just basically called Lauren a hooker. Everyone was stopping for Lauren. It was like Pretty Woman.
fun to be able to see people say hello to you. And it was so fun to
We couldn't get far. Everyone was stopping Lauren. We couldn't get far. It was really like you're walking at the time of like Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts.
Oh,
So
it was
everybody loves Lauren. So it was fun, but you could see how many people are just love what you do.
Oh, ad break.
Okay.
Of course, we got to have our ad break, right, Lauren?
about victim impacts. Well, and Susan, I remember going into a panel with you about victim impact statements and learning about Madison McGee. She hosts the Ice Cold Case podcast, talking about the murder of her father, JC, or John McGee. I was so moved by what she spoke. She said she didn't have an opportunity to give a victim impact statement because there's never been an arrest. There's never been a conviction. That is what she covers on her podcast. And to hear her words was so profound for me. I was wiping a few tears away, trying to, hide my face. And that was incredible to hear. That was also the panel, right, where Jason Landry's parents.
We got Jason Landry for our third lingo. We've got our third lingo with Mike Patty, Nancy Grace, Jason Landry, and I Love You. Let's get the turkeys. Flow.
Parents or father also spoke. We learned a little bit more about his disappearance. December 13th, 2020, was it? Or 2021, where Jason Landry disappeared.
Yeah.
And they're still looking for him.
Right. And I remember he said, look, I'm a pastor and a lawyer, so if I talk too long, that's why. And he just said they have no kind of, right now they've come to terms with that. They don't believe.
Why would she have to throw that in there? If I talk too long, that's why. Why would that be what you remember from Jason Landry's dad? Now, Jason Landry is missing, okay? Why is that what you remember from talking to Jason Landry's dad? That's so weird. How about like some details about Jason Landry being missing? Hey, Kelly Barrison. Hey, Potato, drive safe. Good morning, Lori Jean. Come on in. Mm-hmm. Sure. Hold on one second. A sausage biscuit? Or one of the blueberry ones? Yeah. Yeah, with sausage. I want a bowberry biscuit with sausage. Yeah, they do. They have them. Mm-hmm. If they don't, just get regular. Sorry. We have a Bojangles in St. Petersburg now. It's the only Bojangles in Florida. And if I had one of those Bo biscuits, they're really good. Yes, it's a blueberry biscuit. And you can get them with sausage as a sausage biscuit. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry about that.
They're still looking for him.
Right. And I remember he said, look, I'm a pastor and a lawyer, so if I talk too long, that's why. And he just said they have no kind of, right now they've come to terms with that. They don't believe he was still alive, but his car was crashed and they never found him. And because COVID was going on, he said he was out there alone looking for his son. And it was, oh my gosh, heart-wrenching to hear. And I went because I knew Josh, who was on the panel with me, that's Libby's cousin, was going to read his victim impact statement.
Oh my God. Now we got Josh, Libby's cousin. We're talking about Jason Landry, talking about his dad. I forgot lingo. For what? No, they haven't said lingo yet.
And he did. And it was powerful to hear. So it was a different perspective to be in that room. And I remember her saying, look, my dad, this was Madison McGee. My dad was shot and her family told her that he died.
Madison McGee. Who is she talking about? I am so confused. We went from Jason Landry to someone else. And these are all victims. I'm so confused right now. Oh, you never heard of Bojangles? It's a southern thing. I think it's in the Carolinas and Georgia. I'm not sure where else. Maybe Tennessee. I first had it in Georgia for the first time. And then they just opened one in St. Pete. And I had it once from there. Oh, there is up in Jacksonville? I didn't know that. I guess maybe the first in South Florida.
his victim impact statement, and he did, and it was powerful to hear. So it was a different perspective to be in that room. And I remember her saying, look, my dad, this was Madison McGee, my dad was shot, and her family told her that he died of a heart attack, so she didn't even know. And then she was very open and honest by saying it's hurt her financially because she's been obsessed with solving this, obsessed, and it's taken over her life. And that financially it's hurt her relationships, like she'll form a relationship and it's become all encompassing. And you know, I don't blame her, but it was really powerful. So the hidden gems should look into her case because it's still not solved, and it was really kind of.
The hidden gems should look into the case. If you're so worried about this woman, why didn't you bring it to her sooner? No, I think she has dentures or something. I don't know. Irritating.
Not investigated at all. And she said, look, and I'm paraphrasing, it's because I wasn't from the right side of the tracks that it was just dismissed.
Yeah.
It was called a misdemeanor murder. I remember that term.
I'm paraphrasing. I wasn't from the right side of the tracks. You are such a fucking snob. You are a snob. And who talks about like that about someone? A fucking victim. Had it with these two.
It's still not solved. And it was really kind of not investigated at all. And she said, look, and I'm paraphrasing, it's because I wasn't from the right side of the tracks that it was.
She paraphrased that.
Thank you.
You're such a snob. Thank you, Wake and Bake. Jay, you're killing me. I hope you're getting a good laugh this morning because I can't with this. Dude, there's Riz. There's going to be Riz in this one. I promise you.
Just dismissed.
Yeah.
It was called a misdemeanor murder. I remember that term. That no one really cares. She said, I did, and I did.
The entire case file was 30 pages.
No, Kylie. Burnt Toast actually made a new post or updated a post or something. They think it was the bots that got her channel. So most likely she'll be back up and running. Because it was like her little icon or something. And she posted that they think it was AI bots that got it or something. Or she talked to you. I don't know if she talked to YouTube. I shouldn't say that. But I think she'll get her channel back. I hope she does. I don't want to see that happen to anybody. Especially over something fucking stupid, you know. I don't think it was Lauren, though. She said she doesn't think it was a person.
As she said when she finally got it. They didn't even investigate. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Those are some of the panels that you can go in, like Cheryl McCullum, who I love. She hosted a panel. There's so many.
We got Cheryl McCollum on the lingo board for our fourth lingo of the day. Let's get them turkeys. This lingo is brought to you by Mike Patty, Cheryl McCollum, Pretty Woman, Bed at 3 a.m., and Grayson. That's one hell of a fucking bingo right there. Woo!
She is so funny. I did not know how funny.
Hilarious.
Every time I saw her, I just started giggling. And then she was with her sister and they.
Oh, every time I saw her, I just started giggling. She's so funny. I love Cheryl McCollum. Cheryl McCollum is friends with Nancy Grace. I just got done doing an interview with Nancy. Oh, is she back on the docket, JCM? Interesting. Wake and bake. Yeah, just a gentle reminder. Hit the like button and close your legs.
So
yeah,
those are some of the panels that you can go in, like Cheryl McCullum, who I love. She hosted a panel. There's so many.
She is so funny. I did not know how funny.
Hilarious.
Every time I saw her, I just started giggling. And then she was with her sister, and they are just like the moment they're both together.
Charlene. They're the best. They could.
Charlene. God, we would have had so many names in this one. Fuck. We got to be up to 30.
open for a comedy act. I swear that they're hilarious.
They could.
And
I couldn't stop laughing every time.
They're crying. Okay, Cheryl McCollum, if you're not aware, is a crime scene investigator, allegedly. I don't even know if I believe that anymore, but allegedly she's a crime scene investigator in Atlanta and used to work with Nancy Grace. Now, I don't know what's funny about being a crime scene investigator and being at CrimeCon, and like, what? How are you making crime scene investigation funny?
Just help a brother out here.
I guess if I'm going to CrimeCon and I want to talk to a CSI, I wouldn't want her to be laughing with her sister. I would that's weird, right? Or is it just me? Thank you for gifting 10, Galen. Wow,
Just
10
help a brother
gifted.
out here.
Buzzcat, M169, Destined, Darkside, Jen, Tracy, Poetic Justice, WAFSS, Yins Are Salty, and Hippie Soul. Welcome to Cooterville. Come on in, hit the like button, and close your
Just help a
legs.
brother out here.
Hey, Daria. Just weird, right? They're just making this sound like such a good old
Just help a brother
time.
out here.
Come to CrimeCon. We'll have so much fun, and you'll run into all kinds of celebs. Mesera, thank you for gifting 5. Holly S, R&M Productions, Mystic Firefly, Shuffling Through Life, and Mimi. Wow, lots of new cooters
Just
this
help a
morning.
brother out here.
Thank you so much. Let's give you an official welcome in.
She says, welcome
Close
to
your legs.
Cooterville. Everybody
Close
close
your
your
legs.
leg. Everybody coming in, close your legs.
Close your legs. The lawn crime.
Oh, and 2 Old Crows, did I miss you?
Just help a brother out here.
Welcome, welcome. Sorry if I missed your names. You'll see your names on the credits when we end.
Just help a brother out here.
All right, so back to Cheryl McCollum.
Time I saw them, I would just get this grin like, you guys are hilarious.
she's so southern and sweet, and then something out of her mouth is just hilarious. You go, what? Oh my gosh! I know.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a
She's
kind of
so
behind.
Why is everything? Oh my gosh. I ran into Gabby Petito's mom and she was like, oh my gosh. And then we got this. I would just get this grin. Watch. Sorry, I think the Amazon truck is out front.
They're hilarious.
They're
Just help a
hilarious.
brother out
She's
here.
so southern and sweet, and then something out of her mouth is just hilarious. You go, what? Oh my gosh! I know.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a
she's
kind of
so
behind the scenes story, kind of funny. So I'm behind stage, about to go out with Jerry Holman, prosecutor Nick McClelland. So we're back there. We have about 10 minutes, and Kevin comes up. But first, I get a text from Dave Vito.
Oh my God, we got another name. Dave fucking Vito. Who's Dave Vito? Who's Dave Vito? How about some Jesse Weber?
On Prime Crime.
What is going on here? She's backstage waiting to go on stage with Nick and Jerry. So we're back there. I have a funny behind the scenes story. Let's hear it again.
I know.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a
she's
kind of
so
behind the scenes story, kind of funny. So I'm behind.
Oh, wait. Lauren, weren't you there if you were a presenter? Didn't you tell Bobby Joe you were a presenter? I still can't believe that she had something put in her chin to get rid of a butt chin. Did you guys know that? That's why she did something to her chin? Because she had one of those like split chins? That's so weird.
Stage, about to go out with Jerry Holman, prosecutor Nick McClelland. So we're back there. We have about 10 minutes, and Kevin comes up. But first, I get a text from Dave Vito, who.
Who's Kevin? Is that one of the CrimeCon people? I think Kevin is one of the brothers. No, I mean, if you have a split chin, why would you want to get rid of it? I mean, embrace who you are. I don't know. I think that's weird, but I mean, everybody should embrace how they look instead of all these women looking the same. They get the same fucking injections. They enhance the same fucking features. It's weird. And then that goes out of style and they look weird. And then they try to change it. And then they're all discombobulated. Leave your fucking face alone. Damn.
To go out with Jerry Holman, prosecutor Nick McClelland. So we're back there. We have about 10 minutes. And Kevin comes up. But first I get a text from Dave Vito, who testified in court during the Delphi trial. So he texted me, hey, Jerry told me to text you. There's an empty table next to murder sheet, kind of in the creator's row or what.
Now we got murder sheet getting dropped. There's an empty. Jerry Holman texted me that there's an empty table next to murder sheets. Lauren was really pretty before she effed up her face. Yeah.
Table next to murder sheet, kind of in the creator's row or what they call it. Yeah. Can I have this table? And I said, yeah, take it.
Oh, so she's giving permission. She's way more integrated into CrimeCon than we know. Jerry Holman is calling her to ask for permission to take a table in Podcast Row or whatever they call it. So she's running things. She's definitely running things. More than we think. She's more than a panel speaker. She's also bringing in victims, talking them into coming, even if they're hesitant. Hey, Amberly, good to see you as well. Interesting. She's got a lot of control over CrimeCon. Dave Vito, one of Murder Sheet's sources, confirmed. Interesting.
Court during the Delphi trial. So he texted me, hey, Jerry told me to text you. There's an empty table next to murder sheet, kind of in the creator's row or what they call it. Yeah. Can I have this table? And I said, yeah, take it. I have zero authority, zero to say take. I go, take it. It's yours.
Oh, she's got zero authority. Okay, sure. But I said, take it. It's yours.
You're like, go for it. You're just like, yeah.
And the funny story is Jerry Holman, he asked Jerry. So I showed Becky, I said, look, because was she backstage with me? Yes. And I said, look what I just did. I don't have authority. Here comes Kevin. She goes, tell Kevin what you did. I go, I gave this table to Dave. No one's there. He goes, yeah, tell him he could have it. Text me the name and he could have it.
Kevin is one of the founders. Caffeinated the good old Watts days. They were wild, wild, wild.
Because, you have to kind of be invited to be at a table. And he said, what was funny, Susan, is Jerry Holman's like, absolutely, be invited to be at a table. Yeah, tell him he could have it. Text me the name and
wait, listen to this.
Because, you have to kind of be invited to be at a
You have to kind of be invited to have a table. Oh, is that so? Kind of invited. So who has to kind of invite you, Susan? How do you kind of get invited to have a table? I have questions about CrimeCon, her involvement with CrimeCon, if she's getting paid to bring heads in for the stage.
She goes, tell Kevin what you did. I go, I gave this table to Dave. No one's there. He goes, yeah, tell him he could have it. Text me the name and he could have it. Because, you have to kind of be invited to be at a table. And he said, what was funny, Susan, is Jerry Holman's like, absolutely, take it. And he's like,
this is fucking weird.
Well, I think we need to contact someone who has more authority. Ask Susan. I have zero authority. I'm like, take it. It's yours. It's your table.
You're like, you just exude authority. And then when people ask you, you're like, yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah. And then I want to give a shout out to Kelly McClear, works so hard.
Here we go. Another name. How many are we on? Yeah, it sounds like she's a marketer for CrimeCon, right? This is just weird shit, man.
And then I want to give a shout out to Kelly McClear, works so hard and all of that. She'll look at me. I've known her for years and go, what did you do? What did you give to who? I'm like, what? Sorry. But that was a funny story to think, oh, absolutely take it.
She was fun to me. I went with you and Grayson. You had to sign some autographs. You had to sign some programs in the.
Oh, they were signing autographs. Here's another photo op. We've got Susan Hendricks, Lauren, Stephanie Harlow, and Vinnie Politan. Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I'm like, I'm definitely not slurring. Autographs. Yep.
I went with you and Grayson. You had to sign some autographs. You had to sign some programs in the back, and you were with Vinny and Stephanie Harlow and Cheryl and Mike King was back there, and y'all were.
Oh my God, we got to be on 50 names by now. Mike King, there's another one. Thank you, Kelly Mack, for your super chat. Wonder if she gets a cut of the door. Well, I'm wondering because it seems like she's got multiple roles. Westy
and Stephanie Harlow and Cheryl and Mike King was back there, and y'all were signing all of these autographs, and it was so fun to meet Kelly. And yeah, I saw that you guys, you're like, yep, gave table away. No, it was actually before you gave the table away.
Oh, so Lauren is making it known that she was back with them at one point. Yep, there you go. Bing bong, Brenda.
Saw that you guys, you're like, yep, gave table away. No, it was actually before you gave the table away, but I love that. You're an advocate for people, even if it means just taking some authority.
We've got advocate on the board.
You get that table. That table is yours.
And it was funny to see Dave Vito, because you remember him on the stand, right?
Yes, I do. And
it wasn't easy for him.
To see them starting their own podcast, the Detectives podcast, Dave and Steve, and they are from Indiana, and they actually said they started for the same reason we started. They said that we wanted to be able to do an ethical podcast. They've both been longtime investigators, and that was really neat to see. Glad they had a table. Thanks to Susan
and it's
her
from
authority.
It's really they're naturals, I swear, because it's just them telling stories from their perspective, which we don't often get. You remember in local news, we both were in it. You get a statement from a PIO, public information officer. Well, at 300 hours or whatever, it's like you don't really get to hear kind of what they think and what they go through, or PTSD. I was with them a lot. I mean, I heard great stories, and it's funny to see them.
So is this appropriate for the victims' families to hear about the PTSD their family members' murders caused these officers? This seems so messy. I would just think that if I was like the mother of a murdered child, I don't think I'd want to hear how it affected the people that found them. Like, I don't know if I'd want to hear that. That would make me feel so rotten. Like, I would feel so bad hearing that. Is it just me? What do you guys think? Seems like that's really messy. To bring all of that into one. And then you have like, do they have any support for these people? Like, are there little breakout sessions for these families to talk through what they've just heard? I mean, or do they just send them home with all of this stuff to unpack that they didn't have before? Yeah, but you get a really cool award. Yeah. It's disgusting. I think we should watch some of the Clue Awards too and see how that goes down. I agree with that, Michelle.
I'm starstruck with Vinny. The next day, like, we had no.
Starstruck. She literally said starstruck. Listen to this.
Officer. Well, at 300 hours or whatever, it's like you don't really get to hear kind of what they think and what they go through, or PTSD. I was with them a lot. I mean, I heard great stories, and it's funny to see them starstruck.
I heard great stories. She talks about PTSD and then says, I heard great stories, and it's funny to see them starstruck.
I was with them a lot. I mean, I heard great stories, and it's funny to see them starstruck with Vinny. The next day, like, we had no idea we'd be talking to Vinnie Politan at 1:30 in the morning because there was kind of a gathering local area.
Lauren said she didn't want a table because she didn't want to be confined to one area. She wanted to walk around everywhere. And we all know why now. See, this stupid dum-dum could have gotten a table via her friend Susan, and her and Grayson could have sat their asses at the table and stayed the fuck away from who she was scared of. But no.
It was a fun place to be. Oh, that's so cool. So they were starstruck by Vinny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. And they love CrimeCon now. It's just that kind of place. So if Hidden Gems who haven't been, they should go.
Oh my God. It's just the place to be. She said you need an invite, Laura. But Lauren said she didn't want to do a table.
Now it's just that kind of place. So if Hidden Gems who haven't been, they should go.
Well, it's going to be in Vegas.
May.
Yeah, May. It's going to be in Vegas.
Oh my God, it's in May? I thought every year it was in September. Lord have mercy. Let me know if you're going to CrimeCon in May.
So I hope you're coming. Are you coming? You'll be there.
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, of course she is. She's reeling in. She's got her fucking pole out. She's reeling in them victims right now. Reeling in them victims. Who's going to be on stage in May?
Next thing you know, it's Joe Petito. Where are you guys? I'm gambling. We're like, no.
What?
Next thing you know, it's Joe Petito. Where are you guys? I'm gambling. We're like, no.
Vinny must be the pimp of CrimeCon. Damn.
Next thing you know, it's Joe Petito. Where are you guys? I'm gambling. We're like, no.
Come back. I know. I don't know if there'll be like this main area to gather like there was this year at Denver because it's Vegas, but
Oh, the main area. The one that you kicked Christina out of? The main area that was as big as a fucking football field, but you couldn't manage to stay on the other fucking side? That one? Claire. That big area? Should be interesting at Vegas CrimeCon. I hope Christina gets to go to this one if she wants to.
We're like, no.
come back. I know. I don't know if there'll be like this main area to gather like there was this year at Denver because it's Vegas, but it should be fun. And we want to have, we want to have actually a little gathering for our community, the Hidden Gems. So I hope you'll be there. Yeah. Come in a night early, Susan. Come in for Thursday night.
I absolutely will. That hotel was beautiful, wasn't it?
Oh, I wonder if we can go to the Hidden Gems party on Thursday night.
The Gaylord in.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It was like its own little village and city. You didn't want to leave. I still don't know Denver really well because there was no reason to leave the Gaylord. I was like, I'm good here forever. Like I'll just make a home here.
Encompassing.
Exactly. It was beautiful. And to be able to sit and have lunch, right? We were able to go in and just sit on a couch and eat, and a lot of eating. I'll be honest. It was delicious meals. We also actually went out. We finally decided to leave campus, as you said. That's what we talked about. Let's leave and jump in a couple of Ubers with the patties.
They jumped in Ubers with the patties, but there was no reason to leave the Gaylord. Scorpion says, I have a feeling you may not get an invite, Jay. Jay, I heard Christina has been banned from attending. Others have heard that too. Can anyone confirm this? I don't know about that.
And jump in a couple of Ubers with the patties.
There's an edit right there. So I don't know what she said about the patties, but definitely there was a Grayson edit.
So we talked about let's leave and jump in a couple of Ubers with the patties.
The Patties are the grandparents of Abby. Is it Abby or Libby? Gosh, I can't remember right now. Sorry. I know somebody in chat will know. But the victims, they're grandparents of a murder girl, of Libby. Thank you.
That was an interesting Uber ride, though, on the way home. I got a little nervous. We weren't going to make it back.
Yeah, Mike, the leader again. He got, which was
Mike
so
Patty.
nice of him.
Yeah.
God. Mike the leader again. Mike Patty. Yeah. I was afraid in the Uber we weren't going to make it back. I typically don't get in those gross Ubers unless it's, you know, like a platinum Uber. Oh, no, he's not in a wheelchair. We've seen him in his undies.
Back.
Yeah, Mike the leader again. He got, which was
Mike
so
Patty.
nice of him.
Yeah.
Libby's grandfather. 2 Ubers. Because there were 14 of us, like 3 different tables, I think. And so he got the Ubers and he said to the guys, like, listen, will you drive us home too? Because there's 14 of us and I'll just pay you X amount. And they can do that. And they agreed. But then they were trying to like switch it and take advantage of them and saying like, no, well, you have to pay me for all the rides I could have taken. And we weren't that long at dinner. I mean, we really weren't.
No.
So my New Jersey.
Oh, well, they thought you were celebrities, so they wanted to take advantage of you and get all your money.
He came out in me, though. I'm like, you can't take advantage of this, man. It was like chaos.
I love your New Jersey.
I probably shouldn't have interfered.
Oh, so she's mad at the Uber driver saying, don't take advantage of the victims, right? Don't take, these people are victims. Don't take advantage of these people. She yelled at the Uber driver. Listen.
I mean, we really weren't.
No.
So my New Jersey came out in me, though. I'm like, you can't take advantage of this, man. It was like chaos.
The Jersey girl came out at me and I told him, you can't take advantage of this family. Only we can. They're our victims. Yeah, listen to her. Here's the Uber. Here's the Uber story.
He got, which was
Mike
so
Patty.
nice of him.
Yeah.
2
Libby's
grandfather. 2 Ubers. Because there were 14 of us, like 3 different tables, I think. And so he got the Ubers and he said to the guys, like, listen, will you drive us home too? Because there's 14 of us and I'll just pay you X amount. And they can do that. And they agreed. But then they were trying to like switch it and take advantage of them and saying like, no, well, you have to pay me for all the rides I could have taken. And we weren't that long at dinner. I mean, we really weren't.
No.
So my New Jersey came out in me, though. I'm like, you can't take advantage of this, man. It was like chaos.
I love your New Jersey.
I probably shouldn't have interfered. But then we went on our merry way. Mike's like, okay, I'm over this. Let's go swing by here and get lottery tickets because it was $1 billion. And Nick McClelland said, I'm going to buy my own because if we all win, I did stories on this on HLN, a deep dive into lottery. If you all play and you don't have anything signed, then Nick could maybe get nothing. It's so funny. I think that.
Oh my God. She did a deep dive into lottery. Oh, that's your claim to fame, girl. On HLN, I did a deep dive into the lottery. What did you uncover, Susan, in your deep dive? Nick McClelland said, I'm going to buy a lottery. Like, why do we need to know this shit? And why is this happening?
All win. I did stories on this on HLN, a deep dive into lottery. If you all play and you don't have anything signed, then Nick could maybe get nothing. It's so funny. I think that's why. But he bought his own and we're all there kind of buying. It was surreal and fun.
I think I
Did anyone
still have
win?
my lottery ticket.
Surreal and fun. These people's granddaughter was murdered in a ritual-like setting. It was surreal and it was fun. Oh, at the next CrimeCon, we're going to have a little get-together for the gems. Hey, Cramit. There's our girl, Cramit. Y'all, if you could do me a favor and head over to Cramit. She is our honorary songmaker for Cooterville, and she doesn't nearly get the support she deserves. So if the mods could throw her link in there and we could just really quick, give her a sub. She's amazing. She's amazing. I know. She's awesome.
zone, and we're all there kind of fun. It was surreal and fun.
I think I
Did anyone
still have
win?
my lottery ticket. Yeah, we stopped. It's true. Your New Jersey come out. I've seen your New Jersey come out before. I was still safe with Susan because
I've seen your New Jersey come out. God, these women are. I just can't. They're insufferable.
stopped. It's true. Your New Jersey come out. I've seen your New Jersey come out before.
Look at Susan. Yeah, you've seen me be a bitch. Yeah, you've seen the bitch in me.
My lottery ticket. Yeah, we stopped. It's true. Your New Jersey come out. I've seen your New Jersey come out before. I was still safe with Susan because she's got her New Jersey in her. She's beautiful and petite and blonde. But wait till her New Jersey comes out, and I'm like, oh man.
She just said fucking New Jersey 4 times in 15 seconds. God almighty.
I've seen your New Jersey come out before. I was still safe with Susan because she's got her New Jersey in her. She's beautiful and petite and blonde. But wait till her.
She's beautiful and petite and blonde. And Snazzy Trinkets just dropped 5 cooter ships. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Hybrid Pisces, Kelly D. My cat's name is Karen. And F. S'more and I See Everything. Welcome to Cooterville. Come on in and close your legs. She's beautiful, petite, and blonde.
Ticket. Yeah, we stopped. It's true. Your New Jersey come out. I've seen your New Jersey come out before. I was still safe with Susan because she's got her New Jersey in her. She's beautiful and petite and blonde. But wait till her New Jersey comes out, and I'm like, oh man. But then we pulled over and we just took a moment to breathe, and we all went and bought
That's
some
why
lottery
we shouldn't
tickets.
leave campus. I was like, let's go back. Let's go back to the Gaylord.
And I'm looking for mine. I actually think I need to check it.
Yeah, I know Denver is such a scary place, especially Aurora. Oh my God. It's so fucking scary in Aurora, Colorado. I'd love to dump these two off at 8 Mile and Woodward in Detroit and drive away and have a hidden camera and drone over them. That's what I would like to do. I'd like to take these 2 bitches, drop them off at 8 and Woodward, and have a drone follow them as they try to find their way out. It would be the best. They're scared of Aurora, of Denver. Get out of here.
To make sure that I didn't win. I might be
You
that
could be a winner.
lottery.
Don't give any to Nick McClellan. I'm kidding.
God, another Nick McClellan. You could drop them off in Greektown and they'd be scared. True that. That's true. That is so true. That would be funny. Thank you, Charlie. That was pretty wild, huh? This was September 25th, 2025.
Make sure that I didn't win. I might be
You could
that
be a
lottery.
winner. Don't give
ticket.
any to Nick McClellan. I'm kidding.
I might be that lottery winner, that they're still looking for. I have it over here, so you just reminded me. Maybe they're saying, where
That's
is
hilarious.
she? Where is
Where
she? She
is
hasn't
it?
come forward. But yeah, that
And,
was when we had a moment with the Uber driver that was a little nerve wracking. We didn't know if we were going to make it back. You were like getting him in line with your New Jersey, and I was like, you know what? Here's $20. Let's just go. Yeah, get me a lottery ticket too.
Yeah, we were fighting, but we're like, okay. And I tried to be nice. I said, I wasn't mean, but I said, nice try. And then I'm like, so have you been driving Uber long? Trying to be nice. And he goes, yes. Do you like it here in Denver? No. Oh. And then let's go back to the Gaylord.
Wow. Love always. Couldn't have said it better myself. So sheltered and entitled. He's not there for your entertainment, lady. He wants to get you fucking hoity-toity bitches in the Uber, get paid, and get your asses dropped off. He don't want to hear you more than you want to fucking hear him. God.
Nice. I said, I wasn't mean, but I said, nice try. And then I'm like, so have you been driving Uber long? Trying to be nice. And he goes, yes. Do you like it here in Denver? No. Oh. And then let's go back to the Gaylord.
And I think it was the moment when you you didn't even say it. It wasn't even a threat. You sort of implied I can tell Uber. And he was like, whatever you need, I got.
Yeah.
Wow. They threatened the Uber driver with telling Uber on him? What fucking bitches? What fucking bitches? And then they made him stop for lottery tickets and wanted him to wait. They don't do that, bitch. They don't get paid unless they're driving. This isn't a limo ride that you've paid hourly for. Cheap bitches. Yep, I would have said, go ahead and report me. Is this where Grayson got the idea to sue Uber? I think she got in a car accident and hit an Uber, or they hit her. But listen.
And I think it was the moment when you didn't even say it. It wasn't even a threat.
Winter sky, if the shoe fits. Yes.
You like sort of implied, like, I can tell Uber. And
you kind of implied I can tell Uber.
And if you didn't even say it. It wasn't even a threat. You like sort of implied, like, I can tell Uber. And he was like, whatever you need, I got you.
Yeah, I threatened that. And then he goes, then take the money. He's waving it. It was chaos. And I'm going, what's happening? What is happening? Get us back to the Gaylord. It's like, there's no place like home. There's no place to let go. So then we never left.
He was trying to take more money. And then the moment you're like, I can let Uber know, he was like, free ride. And you're like, no, like, just be fair.
Just be normal.
Wow. True Crime Karens. Is that a podcast? True Crime Karens? There should be. And these two should be the fucking stars. Why were they giving the fucking Uber a hard time? You know what? I would have said, fuck you bitches. Download the app and order an Uber yourself. They wanted him to do special favors, then didn't want to pay for it. I don't think so, Lindsay. I think they went out. They had like a group of 17 and they needed 3 cars. So they offered these guys. They didn't want to fucking do it. They probably don't have Uber on their phone because they're too good for Uber.
Right. He was trying to take more money. And then the moment you're like, I can let Uber know, he was like, free ride. And you're like, no, like, just be fair.
Just be normal. What is happening?
What's normal to you? What's normal to you?
Denver. Isn't everyone supposed to be nice? The air is cleaner,
yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. This is Denver. Isn't everyone supposed to be nice? Not when you're cunts like you. Sorry. Ugh. I've taken many Ubers in Denver. Never had a bad experience. I think there needs to be a musical made out of this one. But sadly, I don't think Ollip's around here anymore. Free ride. Look at that screen. Look at that pause game. Oh, whistle down. Says, I'm sending this to Denver 7, 9 News, and the newspaper, as well as I'd like a comment from the detective who emailed the force. Do it, lady.
No, like, just be fair.
Just be normal. What is happening? This is Denver. Isn't everyone supposed to be nice? The air is cleaner,
yes.
I guess.
Yes. Elevation, but the air is fresh. Right.
This is how nice people are back at the Gaylord, which is like Annie M. This is how nice they are. I land, meet these 2 wonderful women, and we all share a cab together. And they were so nice. And I saw them throughout the weekend. So don't you feel like there's some like camaraderie of like, yes. I don't know, the people who go are really cool.
Oh, really? So everybody who goes to CrimeCon is super cool and nice. Don't leave the grounds. You just want to stay at the hotel. Right? It's the people at the CrimeCon only. If you leave CrimeCon, you're going to come into contact with people who are just not very nice. So come to CrimeCon. Don't leave. Just come here. This is nothing but a marketing. There should be a brochure that goes along with this. Right. Gives the hotel more business. Bing bong. Maybe so, Emmy Joe.
Cab together, and they were so nice, and I saw them throughout the weekend. So don't you feel like there's some like camaraderie of like, yes. I don't know, the people who go are really cool.
Everyone was so nice. I agree. Everyone was so nice.
I joked, I'm like, what's in the vents here? Because everyone's super nice. What
is in the vents there? Chandelier and Sigs, thank you for 3 months of cootership. Sounds cult-ish. Just a little bit.
You just if you leave campus and get in an Uber,
it's bad out there. You risk a lot.
Yeah. See? It's bad out there. You risk a lot if you leave CrimeCon. So get your tickets to CrimeCon. I had a falling out with a couple creators, and I guess they were she picked a side. I don't know. It is what it is. I still love her content. I love the musical. I'd love to see another one. I'm not holding grudges against people who weren't involved in the shit show. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It's bad out there. You risk a lot. You're risking your life. Get your tickets today.
No, everyone was so nice, and it was so wonderful. What else
Has
do we do?
your
I
husband been at all? He has to go to Vegas, right?
Who?
Has your
John?
husband been to CrimeCon?
Yeah, he'll be there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we've got the husband mentioned. 30 minutes in, there's the husband. Listen.
It was so nice, and it was so wonderful. What else do we do?
Has your husband been at all? He has to go to Vegas.
Has your husband been at all? He has to go to Vegas. Look at their faces. Look at Lauren. My what? My who? Thank you, Michelle. Right, Young Black is wild. We got John on the board.
Right?
Who?
Has your
John?
husband been to CrimeCon?
Yeah, he'll be there. That's
he has to go to Vegas, right?
Who?
Has your
John?
husband
Wonderful. What else
Has
do we
your
do? I
husband
almost
been
like
at
those
all? He has
before.
to go to Vegas, right?
Who?
Has your
John?
husband been to CrimeCon?
Yeah, he'll be there. That's what I'm saying. Come in a day earlier because I think we want to throw a little gathering Thursday night. To be determined. We need some party planners, which a few hidden gems have.
It's in May, right?
Volunteered. It's in May, and so we'll be there, and you'll be.
So she's going to make the hidden gems plan their own fucking gathering? Monogamous. Lauren should have brought her husband and kid for the indoor water park at the Gaylord. Wow. And Joel, just wait for it.
Be there, and it'll be so fun. And yes, John will be there. I hope that John will be able to speak. We've never. People say, "Why aren't you speaking or doing a panel?" We've never.
Oh, she wants Susan to get her John a speaking. Oh, come on! If John gets a speaking engagement, CrimeCon is officially in the gutter. Stop it! Stop!
John will be able to speak. We've never. People say, "Why aren't you speaking or doing a panel?" We've never actually applied because our whole goal in going to CrimeCon is to meet our hidden gems and to just sort of.
Then why didn't you have a table, liar? We've never applied. I kind of would too, DB. It'd be great if a group of us could go. Listen.
Because our whole goal in going to CrimeCon is to meet our hidden gems and to just sort of.
God, you have a lot to discuss. No.
Why didn't you have a table then? Woolwin. We've never actually applied, but maybe you can get us in, Susan.
Hope that John will be able to speak. We've never. People say, "Why aren't you speaking or doing a panel?" We've never actually applied because our whole goal in going to CrimeCon is to meet our hidden gems and to just sort of.
God, you have a lot to discuss. No, you have to do a panel. You met Kevin. I think you should. It'd be excellent. So,
oh, she got to meet Kevin, one of the brothers. Oh my God, Pines. Thank you for your super chat. John's suitcase would weigh 300 pounds, filled with books for his presentation. Books from 2000. Yep. Thank you, Pines, for your support. Did you hear that? She met Kevin. You should be able to get a panel. Listen again. Listen again.
I think the two of you.
Hidden gems and to just sort of.
God, you have a lot to discuss. No, you have to do a panel. You met Kevin. I think you should. It'd be.
See that? You have to do a panel. You met Kevin. Look at her face. Lauren, I'm going to have a fucking panel. I will have a panel at CrimeCon. You will not destroy my false, what was it? Her false empire. Kevin will get me a panel.
Sort of.
But you have a lot to discuss. No, you have to do a panel. You met Kevin. I think you should. It'd be excellent. So I think the two of you would be a huge draw. I would definitely be in the front row with a pass. You know what's funny? You cut in and out a little, but it's not you guys. I was wondering when I was on Nancy Grace, oh no, because I'm in a hotel. I've been here since CrimeCon because our house is being renovated and you have to get a certificate.
Oh, what? Oh my God. Like our house is being renovated. So I'm stuck here in a hotel. I'm stuck in the Gaylord or wherever she is because my house is being renovated. It's such a pain in the butt. These people are so unrelatable, especially in today's economy. Who the fuck can afford a renovation right now? Not many people. People are struggling to keep food on the fucking table. These people are so out of touch. I don't know how victims are fooled by them. Yeah, and Lauren, there she is still with the fucking orange couch. Kevin is one of the creators of CrimeCon. Kevin and his brother.
Certificate of occupancy. I've been here since you guys. I was wondering when I was on Nancy Grace, oh no, because I'm in a hotel. I've been here since CrimeCon because our house is being renovated and you have to get a certificate of occupancy. It's been a nightmare, but my son thinks it's camping. He loves it. My teenage daughter's miserable.
Your son thinks it's camping to stay in the fucking Gaylord? Oh my God. Dude, these women, I could never. I can't even. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. Joel Roberts, thank you so much for the super chat. I don't think
The lawn crime.
would want to be sitting anywhere near your table, Hidden True Crime. Thank you for your super chat. Camping. Okay.
Miserable. It's like Chevy Chase Vacation. Like in that station wagon is in the hotel room. So
I was just going to ask you, tell us about why you're in a hotel.
Clear.
Tell us about why you're in a hotel, and that's why. So you don't want.
Tell us why you're in a hotel, Lauren.
Everybody likes me, everybody hates me. They want me to go eat some worms.
To be there, but there you are. You've been living there since CrimeCon. So you're probably wishing you were just back.
Yep, there she is. She's at the fucking Gaylord while her house gets renovated. Get the fuck on out of here. Come on. She did say she's still there since CrimeCon. Like camping. Did you guys see that place? That place is nothing like camping, y'all.
Be there, but there you are. You've been living there since CrimeCon. So you're probably wishing you were just back at the Gaylord then. You might as well be at the Gaylord. But you're
Oh, sorry, she's not at the Gaylord. My bad.
You're not out covering some trial or anything, and that's not why you're in a hotel. You're there with the fam.
My son's 9 and he's like, I think
So we had an edit in between talking about the fam.
my lower back hurts a little. I think he hears his dad, Joe, say that. So he's like, it's funny. We've been here that long. He's still having fun, but it's kind of worn off. So in 3 days, I'll be out, which is good.
Congratulations. He's an old soul. My lower back hurts after sleeping so
I'm like,
long.
what? You heard someone say that. But we
I
like
saw a little
grocery
ape.
shop.
Is that a little ape on the
I bet you the hotel is probably a write-off. I would have to imagine.
nightstand too? I saw.
Oh, yes. We got that when we first got here at a toy store, which feels like a year ago after CrimeCon. And there's an indoor pool, which burns your retina when you walk in the hotel. But I'm grateful. I'm lucky we're here. The 4 of us sharing one bathroom with a 15-year-old daughter. It's funny.
So your son's lower back is hurting, but how's the 15-year-old daughter sharing a bathroom? How's she handling things?
She's like, Jack, you have to get out now. It's just really funny. It's like textbook, but they have like a snack area downstairs. So Jack loves it. He's on like his 5th bag of Starburst. He loves it. And Emery's more the mom to him, like, Jack, your teeth are going to rot out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when are we getting out? But then you think back, like, these are the memories I'll remember, like being this close with them. Because I have some friends whose kids are going off to college. Like you and I both have a son similar age. And it does go by fast. And you're like, oh my gosh. But with daughters, you know how it is. A teenage girl, I was the same way. You don't really want to be in a hotel where, like, and I didn't really say much. I wasn't chatty a lot. She's not, I'm like, how's everything? Fine, good, yeah. What? always like, what? And I'm like, are you TikToking? And I mortify her because that's not what you say.
TikToking.
Everything I say is like, what? And then to bother her, I'm like, do you want a TikTok? She's like, stop.
Is your son into the same lingo that my son's into? Everyone's bra. Then he's like saying, dude, I don't know.
How do you know? Oh, from talking on the phone.
How does this lingo fly, by the way, between elementary schools? Because it's not like they're on social media, but they are all, they're talking Riz, Gyat, but will tell me.
Oh my God. We've got Riz. We've got Riz for another lingo. Let's get the turkeys. It's almost Thanksgiving too. Penny Farthing, thank you for 4 months celebrating that lingo this Sunday morning. If you're just joining, welcome in. Please hit the like button.
He's like, no, it's not Gyat, it's Gyat, Gyat. And then tell me, he's like, no, it's not Gyat, it's Gyat, Gyat. And then will tell me, he's like, no, it's not Gyat, it's Gyat. Dude, I don't know. Into everyone's bra. Then
oh, we got lingo. Sorry about that. That's for a 1, 2. We got a double lingo with lingo. Double lingo.
He's like saying, dude, I don't know. How does this lingo fly, by the way, between elementary school? Dude, I don't know. How does this lingo fly, by the way, between elementary schools? Because it's not like they're on social media, but they are all, they're talking Riz, Gyat, but will tell me, he's like, no, it's not Gyat, it's Gyat, Gyat. And then he's like, no, it's not Gyat, it's Gyat, Gyat. And then
I'm writing it down in my notes. I'm going to say that and make them both cringe. Ginat.
And then I'll even say in
my notes. I'm going to say that and make them both cringe. Ginat.
And then I'll even.
I cannot with these two. True crime carrots.
Gyat. It's Gyat. Gyat. And then
I'm writing it down in my notes. I'm going to say that and make them both cringe. Ginat.
And then I'll like go Google it to find out what it means. I'm like, do you know what that means? And he goes, like. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you're 8 and they've got their own lingo and it's like across the.
Yeah. Well, think about
how does every elementary school have the same lingo? I mean, I don't even know. I guess they're all watching.
I need to clip that for when we play lingo.
Have the same lingo.
We need that when we get lingos. Lingo. Liz Dumbrell, Jay, I only found your channel a week ago, but I've never laughed so much in my life. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And I'm glad you're here. I have no idea what gyat means. I'm not 8. I don't know.
I mean, I don't even know. I guess they're all watching the
same thing.
Shows.
Like we didn't have anything, and we were all
That's true.
coming home when the streetlights went on, and saying similar things. And I remember my mom. So we're officially old, I think, because we're like, what is that lingo coming out of their mouth? But it bothers my daughter when I even attempt. So if I say that, she'll be. I can't wait. I should record her face, but she'll be furious.
Yeah, at least
I should record her face. That is so rude. At 15, I should record her face. She'd be furious with me.
I should record her face, but she'll be furious.
Yeah, at least my son just giggles at it, and and
wait,
then,
what did he say again? It's not what? It's
not gyat. Because I'll say, do you know what gyat means? And go look it up. I think it means big butt.
Oh. She said big butt. And that's for another lingo. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You can't make this up.
It's not what? It's
not gyat. Because I'll say, do you know what giat means? And go
What
look it
does
up.
it mean?
I think it means big butt. And they
I thought it meant like nice try, like yeah or cool or wait.
Well, they're using it in a different term, but that's why it's confusing. They'll say, well, it's evolved to mean sort of this, and then they'll use it in place of got, but it's gyat, like, and it's essentially means big butt. And so
I
then,
love it.
but then they don't use it for that term, but they all know what it means, and it's funny. And then, but then he'll say, it's not gyat, mom, it's gyat.
Yeah. All right. I'm
like
gonna
one
say it
syllable,
tonight.
like 1.5 syllables. And yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm
Like
gonna say it
I
tonight.
cannot.
1.5 syllables. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm
Like
gonna
one
say it
syllable,
tonight.
like 1.5. Yeah, mom, it's yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm
Like
gonna
one
say it
syllable,
tonight.
like 1.5
Yeah.
syllables. In other words, not. And I was saying 2 syllables, and then Riz, and then John walks around
Oh
saying,
yeah.
"I've
What is
got
Riz
Riz."
again?
Oh my God. John walks around in his undies saying, I got Riz. I got Riz. Can you imagine John in his undies? I got Riz.
All right. I'm
Like
gonna
one
say it
syllable, like 1.5
Yeah.
syllables. In other words, not. And I was saying 2 syllables, and then Riz, and then John walks around
Oh
saying,
yeah.
"I've
What
got
is Riz
Riz."
again?
Charisma. It's charisma, but it's Riz, and so
I'm so not cool anymore. I was back in the day.
you've got Riz. You are full of Riz.
Riz. I was back in the day.
You've got Riz. You are full of Riz. You
Riz.
have got Riz.
Back in the day.
You've got Riz. You are full of Riz. You
Riz.
have got Riz.
You've got Riz. We both got Riz.
Yeah.
We're terrible at this. But it's funny. You're right that it's just kind of an unspoken language that like spreads around the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
that they
Yeah,
all
I know.
know.
I guess, they all watch the same YouTube shows or
Yeah.
Netflix. And is your son watching the Demon Hunter movie, the K-pop?
We got demon hunters for yet another lingo. I can't wait to get her on the board for her saying lingo. Thank you for the sub, Sativa Rose 420. Welcome in.
Demon Hunter?
Yeah, K-pop definitely. Wait, I think
Because that's a hit at our house. And before you leave that hotel, you better watch that as a family. The K-pop Demon Hunter is a good one.
so.
Bye,
My son's been
Beans.
eating McDonald's and Starburst. I know. I'm going to mom hell.
Sounds like my
But
son's
this
diet.
was in McDonald's thing. Is this?
Sounds like my son's diet. I don't think Dr. John is buying McDonald's. Somehow I think he cooks for the kid. Good night, Keezy. Hope to see you soon.
Is K-pop one of the guys?
Oh, that's a pop mark.
Is K-pop one of the guys? No, it's the brand. Y'all are so into your kids and what your kids like. I can't. I can't. I don't even have little kids, and I know K-pop's the brand. You know why? Because I have a 6-year-old granddaughter who abso-fucking-lutely loves this K-pop shit.
This was in McDonald's thing. Is this K-pop one of the guys?
Oh, that's a pop mart toy.
I don't think it's called Pop Mart, is it? It's K-pop. Is it called Pop Mart? Maybe I'm wrong. These people have little kids, dude.
Is that one of them? It might
Might
be.
be. That's
Might
all.
be,
I'm
yeah.
so not into it. But my daughter loves, of course, Taylor Swift. She went to a concert last year.
Yeah, who doesn't love Taylor? I'm a Swiftie.
No.
Oh my God. She's a Swiftie. K-pop is a genre. Pop Mart is the store. Okay. Gotcha.
Last year.
Yeah, who doesn't love Taylor? I'm a Swiftie.
No.
I love Taylor.
I have a quick CNN story. When at the CNN Center in Atlanta, when I would do cut-ins for Anderson, there were concerts that would get out from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I remember years and years ago, Taylor Swift was
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Potato says, I'm a Swiftie. Oh, when I would do cut-ins for Anderson. You hear this? Now we've got Anderson Cooper up in the name dropping. Damn it. I wish we would have done a name drop count. This would have been fucking awesome. We got Taylor Swift. We got Anderson Cooper. She's talking about when she quit CNN. Listen.
Who doesn't love Taylor? I'm a Swiftie. I love Taylor.
I have a quick CNN story.
A quick CNN story. Quick.
CNN Center in Atlanta, when I would do cut-ins for Anderson, there were concerts that would get out from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I remember years and years ago, Taylor Swift was, of course, huge, but it wasn't this tour. It was like maybe 10 years ago. But there were a lot of young girls, really young girls and their dads, I noticed. So I think she like transcends like everybody, every generation. My husband took my daughter and 4 of her friends, and he said he loved all the songs. Like, it's just...
No, your husband probably likes looking at her and all the girls. I mean, let's face facts.
Can't, in my opinion, not love her and her music.
Oh, shut up. You can too. It's capable. I'm capable of not liking Taylor Swift.
Dr. John is a hard sell, but I think it is a bit of rebellion, and that's all it is.
Dr. John doesn't like Taylor Swift because he probably couldn't get chicks. He's kind of he gives off incel vibes.
You know, it's just like he's always a hard sell. That's who John is. Like, he's just like...
Not when it comes to Brad Pitt, though. He ain't a hard sell when it comes to Brad Pitt.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll skip it. Right.
But
I don't like concerts,
I agree.
though. Does that mean I'm old? I don't like concerts.
Yeah. What?
I mean,
and we're in Imagine Dragons family right now. My son loves Imagine Dragons. Everything's Imagine Dragons. So
I take that back. I like concerts, but it's just the big ones. Like, I was like, and I think we had an extra ticket because one of the girls couldn't go. But I was like, no, not that I don't want to see Taylor Swift. It's just a whole thing. It was a whole, night.
Yeah.
And so what? Oh, one of my favorite interviews. I interviewed Gene Simmons from Kiss. The best interview
my
ever.
God. Now we got Gene Simmons. What? I could not have made this shit up. Come on now. Come on. That is so funny. Look at Lauren. She's like, let me stick out my tongue like Gene Simmons.
What? Oh, one of my favorite interviews. I interviewed Gene Simmons from Kiss. The best interview I've ever.
Look at Lauren. She's like, oh, I love his tongue.
Ever done because of who he is. Never drank or done any drugs. Had the ashes of his mother in his pocket because she had recently passed away. We're both Hungarian. I know how to do a Hungarian nursery rhyme from my Noosh mama. But
the fuck?
Anyway, I digress. The night before, he's like, come to a Kiss concert. And he didn't tell me that, the producer. I didn't know him. And so I was like, well, should I go? Okay, I'll go. And it was awesome. And the crowd, clearly, I'm not saying anything that people don't know, but there was a little boy like our son's age with Kiss makeup on. Like, talk about spanning through generations. And that was awesome. So I guess I like some kind.
Did I ever tell you guys that I went to high school with Kid Rock? Junior high and high school in Romeo, Michigan with Kid Rock. Like, oh my God. I should make that like in the intro of my channel. Hi, I'm Jay from Romeo, Michigan. I went to high school with Kid Rock. He used to DJ our dances. Fuck out of here.
There you go. Yeah, no, I know. Concerts are hard. I went to Ed Sheeran with my niece and sister-in-law about a year ago. It was so fun, but loud, right? That's when I'm like,
Ed Sheeran. It was so loud. Oh my God.
Oh, like it was so fun. It was like, I even listen to Ed Sheeran more now because I'm like, what a talented musician, but just loud. I was just like,
okay,
so loud. I'm old.
You're like, we have Riz, but not really. Where are the headphones?
Yeah, I've got like half Riz right now. Ed Sheeran has Riz.
Oh my God.
We're at half Riz.
My Riz is fading.
Oh my God. Here we go with her
Customers
ads.
can get 50% off unlimited premium wireless. This is good. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, and they run on the nation's largest 5G network. Stalling, that's Mint Mobile to fit above 35.
Best interview, would you say? Or best?
Oh, here we go. What's your best interview? Here's Lauren.
Wait, I want to ask you, what?
No, Lauren is from Utah.
What was your best interview, would you say? Or best in terms of the one you, I don't know. You probably have so many to choose from. that you remember or stands out to you?
Yeah. You know what's so funny is I was about to ask you what your very favorite interview was. And then I thought, I don't know if I would even know if she asked me. So maybe I won't. So let me think about it. Give me a second. There's the more meaningful interviews. I'm sure you agree with this. There's the more meaningful interviews that you'll never forget because they're overwhelming and touching and actually sometimes heartbreaking. And then there are the interviews where they're just kind of fun and exciting because it's a celebrity and you're like, that's so fun. I'm meeting you. Do you know what I mean? So those are two separate spectrums. But I remember being starstruck when I interviewed Gina Davis. She's
Thelma Louise, I love her.
Thelma Louise, League of Their Own. Yep. She's in.
We got Gina Davis. How many names do you think we're up to? We got to be up to 60. I mean, there's been a lot of names dropped.
Incredible. And I love what she's doing now with her nonprofit to make sure that females are represented in the media more, as well as minorities and have better representation in the media. And then I remember interviewing Randy Jackson as well.
Ooh, what was he like?
Fun one. Just very nice. Made me laugh. I think that we took a picture together, and I just remember I'm just doing one of my laughs. I think he was just so funny. You know what else is funny too? This is an enjoyable thing. So when I decided to get into the news business, well, I decided to get into it when I was in college. Obviously, that's what I graduated in, and I was determined. But life took a different turn after college. Some things in my family happened. I go talk about that on Mormon Stories, guys. Go listen. And if you know, you know.
She's plugging the Mormon Stories. I think we need to go through that one. What do you guys think? Go listen. She also pinned the Mormon Stories in her 9-hour live and wanted everyone to watch it. Some things in her family took a turn. Yeah, her dad went to prison. Your dad ripped off farmers in Utah of their property and went to prison.
Took a different turn after college. Some things in my family happened. I go talk about that on Mormon Stories, guys. Go listen. And if you know, you know. But so I couldn't start my broadcasting career right when I graduated. Some things took a turn, plot twist, as we say. Yeah. And so by the time I was actually ready to jump back in, I was older than most. I was 29 years old. And when I went to a small town to jump into the business, because that's what you have to do, right? Go to a small town to start. And so I drove 3 hours to the nearest small town and said, here I am. And they were pretty much like, get in line. Every other graduate from BYU also wants this job. And they're a lot younger already than me. And they're beautiful and they're blonde. And, so I thought, okay, what do I do?
And they're beautiful and they're blonde. She's something else.
Already than me. And they're beautiful and they're blonde. And, so I thought, okay, what do I do? And I decided to go to LA to a reporting workshop because I just had this gap between college and starting a career. Did you do that too?
In LA, yes.
In LA, yeah. And so just to make a new audition tape to sort of freshen up.
Where did you go to UCLA?
No, I was a private coach. And this is what's so funny is this was before Parks and Rec. But did you watch Parks and Recreation on
My husband loves it, but I haven't.
So my reporting coach, this is pre-Parks and Rec, but later on I was like, no way. And we became really close. It's Perp Hapley on Parks and Rec. And he was the reporter on Parks and Rec. And he was my reporting coach. And we had a great time together for 3 days. But yeah.
My guy was old. Mine was like 65 and kind of what was his name? Arthur Joseph. But I remember I did the same thing you did, which is funny.
That is so funny.
Because you couldn't make a tape if you didn't have a job, and you can't get a job if you don't make a tape. So then you have to hire people to like tell you, here's a stand-up.
So funny.
It's so funny that you did the same thing. You kind of try to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. You have to kind of figure it out. So yeah, my reporting coach was Jay Jackson, who happened to play Perp Hapley on Parks and Rec. And he spent 3 full days with me, and he actually genuinely helped me. He sort of taught me, you learn how to put a story together every day. You're putting a 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute story together. And he sort of said, look, I'm going to give you the shortcut and you've got to write before you do the interviews. You've got to hone in on, writing before you get the interviews done, so you kind of know what you're looking for in the interviews, because you don't always have the time to interview someone for an hour and a half. And he gave me some good skills. And then, of course, I had to just start driving up to this small town every week to job shadow until they finally said, fine, we'll give you the job.
You're
But
hired.
Perp Hapley helped. Jay Jackson, thank you. Perp Hapley was my guy.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's so funny. You did the same thing. So yeah, and then
where was that? What city did you? Where'd you get your first job on the air?
It was Pocatello, Idaho, East Idaho. So people might understand now why sort of we cover a lot.
Susan's like, oh, you worked in Pocatello? I wonder what Susan's first job was. And these two are something else.
It's Pocatello, Idaho, East Idaho. So people might understand now why sort of we cover a lot of these Idaho cases. I've reported all over Utah and all over Idaho. So Salt Lake City, and then East Idaho, which is a region, East Idaho, Idaho Falls, Rexburg, Pocatello. That was my first.
What market is that? Because people were big on markets back then. Are they still?
Yeah, it was in like, I think it was like 150, 160.
180, yeah.
Yeah, but you were fancy. You got to cover all the
methamphetamines. Oh, I didn't put that on the board. We have one square left only. It's you can't leave.
Stories, because you were.
It was 180, but it was at least like there were palm trees, right?
Right, you were. Yeah, that was not me. I was actually out in negative degree weather, getting pneumonia. So there were no palm trees where I was. I think with broadcasting, I've always said it's a little bit like Hotel California. It's really.
What was that?
Always said it's a little bit like Hotel California.
The fuck was that noise? Hey, Leslie and Billy. Nobody liked or noticed her here in Utah. Really? Pocatello?
Broadcasting, I've always said it's a little bit like Hotel California. It's really hard to get into, right? It takes some effort to get in, but once you're in, you can never leave.
Boom. Boom. We've got the full blackout bingo or lingo card. So now I'm talking about, guys, we filled it up. And for the full card, we do Craig and his dreads.
Ramen.
Egghead.
I'm hungry.
Dreadhead. Shaking my dreads.
Yeah.
Good job. That was quick too. Yeah. We're almost done with this. We got about 15 minutes left, guys.
You are in it forever.
That's a good analogy.
You could try to leave, but you never will ever be able to
analogy.
leave.
The movie could be a shot at the Gaylord.
Right.
The movie could be shot at the Gaylord. What movie, Susan? The one on y'all stalking Christina?
Wait. The movie could be a shot at the Gaylord.
Right. You're not getting out.
No.
So just make sure that, if you work.
The only one you wanted getting out was Christina in handcuffs, right?
Work really hard to get in. Just know there's no exit. There's no exit. So it's even harder to leave.
You exited doing hidden true crime that everybody loves. So
yeah, and here I am talking about it though and doing the same thing. But you're right. So, and I was on with Vinny yesterday on Court TV. We were talking about Emmanuel Haro with On the Tira. So yeah, still reporting, right? Once a reporter,
Vinny's,
always a reporter.
Speaking of Vinny, I think you were there. You just talked about the day that we saw Cheryl and everyone, and he just said he was talking to you about an excellent live you did, and he just said that gone are the days of like the suit, the buttoned up suit out there, kind of like we talked about before, not making a mistake and like acting robotic, and so you were discussing that guy that would just kind of go to the scene, got in good with the cops, yeah.
Ahmed Biozo. I was on with him yesterday with Vinny, and
these women and their fucking name dropping. It's almost too much. It's almost too fucking much. Oh my God, I think I just fucked up.
Awesome, I want to see it.
Oh my God, I just fucked up. Hold on.
and the Schmitz family. They were wonderful.
Damn it.
So fun, but loud, right? That's when I'm like, oh. Methamphetamine stories, because you were.
It was 180, but it was at least like there were palm trees, right?
Right, you were. Yeah, that was not me. So there were no palm trees where I was. I think with broadcasting, I've always said it's a little bit like Hotel California. It's really hard to get into, right?
It sounds like Looney Tunes. Like when they're running and they put on the brakes.
It's a little bit like Hotel California. It's really hard to get into, right? It takes some effort to get in, but once you're in, you can never leave. You are in it forever.
That's a good analogy.
You could try to leave, but you never it forever.
That's a good analogy.
You could try to leave, but you never will ever be able to leave.
The movie could be a shot at the Gaylord.
Right. You're not getting out.
No.
So just make sure that if you work really hard to get in, just know there's no exit. There's no exit. So it's even harder to leave.
You exited doing hidden true crime that everybody loves. So
yeah, and here I am talking about it though and doing the same thing. But you're right. So, and I was on with Vinny yesterday on Court TV. We were talking about Emmanuel Haro with On the Tira. So yeah, still reporting, right? Once a reporter,
Vinny's,
always a reporter.
Speaking of Vinny, you were there. You just talked about the day that we saw Cheryl and everyone, and he just said he was talking to you about an excellent live you did, and he just said that.
Oh, Vinny was talking to Lauren about an excellent live she did. Look at her face. Watch her face when she says that. Watch. Look. Before she mentions Vinny said she did an excellent live. After she said Vinny she did an excellent live. Before, after. Before, after. This chick is like gold to review, I'm telling you. Before, after.
Cheryl and everyone, and he just said he was talking to you about an excellent live you did, and he just said that gone are the days of like the suit, the buttoned up suit out there, kind of like we talked about before.
Thanks,
not
Joel.
making a mistake and like acting robotic. And so you were discussing that guy that would just kind of go to the scene.
Yeah.
Got in good with the cops. Yeah.
Ahmed Biozo. I was on with him yesterday with Vinny, and that's actually
I want to see it.
We were
How was
praising
it?
him. It was great, and we were praising Ahmed. Vinny and I were talking about Ahmed, saying like, "This is it, man. He has his gold chains. He has his blinged out hat. He has a blinged out microphone that's not even real. It's fake, and he goes to fires." And he is reporting locally for everyone in his area, and they are tuning into him more than local news. And he is showing up at fires going, "Look at those fire hose. It's like they're urinating on the fire. Check it out." It's like, and people are watching him.
People are watching it. And Vinny said that like, and that's
Thank you,
something, a message to everyone that it's a good thing that kind of things have shifted. So you don't have to go to a small market and be selected by the news director. So you.
Oh, Lauren doesn't like that talk about the small market. Lauren's like, yeah, I was always in the small market. And then I met John. And then I had a baby. And here I am.
Have to go to a small market and.
Do you guys want a palate cleanser? How about a quick palate cleanser? True Crime Kate, this one's for you. Palate cleanser for you. And jammers.
It's time to get happy. It's time to get funky. It's time for us to smile. Because here comes Max Spunky. It's time to get happy. It's time to get funky. It's time for us to smile. Because here comes Max Spunky. It's time to get happy. It's time to get funky.
Get spunky.
Time for us to smile. Cause here comes Max Spunky. They smell funny. time to get funky. It's time for us to smile, because here comes Max Spunky. It's time to get happy. It's time to get funky.
It's almost over.
It's time for us to smile, because here comes Max Spunky. It's time to get happy. It's time to get funky. It's time for us to smile, cause here comes Max Spunky. Hey, smile, funky, flick the funky. It's time you are the loading for it, gunky. Ready for, ready for, ready for, yeah. Cause here comes Max Spunky.
Thank you, Vinny, for the McSpunky theme. We couldn't live without it. Yes, he has it on his channel.
Hello, Hidden Gems.
Okay, let's get back. Let's get back where we were. Let's see how many more names. Let's count the last of the names. We've got 10 minutes left. Let's count how many names are dropped in the last 10 minutes. Are you guys ready? I'm going to try to get a counter on the screen.
Locally all over Utah and Idaho. And you know where else I was too, that people don't realize. And I was able to talk to Mike King about this.
Oh,
because Mike King
wait,
was in
hold
law
on.
enforcement and I was
Hold on.
I can do this. And he got out.
Idaho Charlie, I did hear about Big Al. Rest in peace, Big Al. It's really sad. We lost one of our viewers, Big Al. Rest in peace. It's really sad news. I feel for his family. Okay, so let's start counting names for the last 10 minutes of the live. You guys ready?
For making it happen. I want to say thank you.
Thank you for your super chat. Jay's effing 50, please. Big Al passed away, is what happened, if you haven't heard. All right, let me get the counter up here. Yeah, it's really sad. I hate when that happens. Okay. Oh, Pretty Hate, thank you so much. Thanks for another fun Sunday. You're funny. Thank you. You guys are too. Okay, here we go. Let's get this up here. I'm going to put one. Let me get this situated. I'm going to do my best to keep up with it here. We've got it right underneath. Let's make the lingo card a little bit smaller, and we'll go out with a bang. Okay, here we go. We're going to count the name drops in 10 minutes.
Had a second chance in life and has just been reported he's battling cancer now. He fainted on the scene while looking for Emmanuel Haro. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a different world now where if people feel like they have something to give, they can give that. So
I agree.
It is exciting. But yeah, I reported locally all over Utah and Idaho. And you know where else I was too, that people don't realize. And I was able to talk to Mike King about this.
Mike
King was in law enforcement and did a lot in Hilldale and Colorado City. For those that don't know what that is, you probably don't, Susan. That's Warren Jeff's land, FLDS.
Oh, yes.
And I was the correspondent there for Salt Lake.
What did Mike King do? He was in law enforcement and did a lot in
Hilldale and Colorado City. For those that don't know what that is, you probably don't, Susan. That's Warren Jeff's land, FL.
So Mike King worked in Warren Jeff's land. Interesting.
Yes. I was the correspondent there for Salt Lake City for a time as well. Oh, yeah. So we were able to talk about that. But I have dear friends there still. That are in Colorado City, Hilldale. It's a town that has changed a lot, but it's wonderful. I think so. Let's go back to like what you asked for my most fun interviews. You know, the celebrities are fun, right? But the unforgettable interviews are people that change the way I think. And for example, getting to know women that were FLDS who became my friends, that changed me. You know, people that teach you about the world that you didn't expect, or change a stereotype you have in your mind, or people who went through a trauma and came out on the other side, even Ahmed Biozo, talking to him on my channel. Those have been some of the most profound interviews for me and what I hope to bring to Hidden True Crime as well. And you do that too. So
you do that. And it's not easy to interview someone. I think if you truly connect, it's a great interview. You do that, make it seem easy. It's really not. That is one of your skills. But I agree with, I remember one year, it was Yardley Love. She was murdered, University of UVA, Virginia, lacrosse player, her boyfriend murdered her, was jealous, was drinking all day. That her mom, it's the Love Foundation. So I interviewed the mom, but she was kind of talking to me. She had been, obviously, this happened, I believe, 15, 16 years ago. So she was there. And when Stacey Chapin, I'm taking you back to CrimeCon,
there we go.
a couple of years ago, was on that
Stacey
same panel.
Chapin.
So the panel was about, like, what do you do when the worst day of your life happens? And Yardley's mom was saying, like, she got a call in the middle of the night. And you think,
can you imagine Stacey Chapin this soon after the murders being on a panel talking about what you do when the worst thing in your life happens to you? Ugh.
years ago was on that same panel. So the panel was about, like, what do you do when the worst day of your life happens? And Yardley's mom was saying, like, she got a call in the middle of the night, and you think, oh, car accident for your kids. And so being able to see Yardley's mom speak to Ethan Chapin's mom and help and really connect. And I will say this is what I love about CrimeCon too. It helps you because you see these people and you say, if they can.
This is what I love about CrimeCon too, is because it helps you too. It helps you too. Stop it. Stop it, Susan, with your propaganda bullshit. Are we on 7, Joel?
This is what I love about CrimeCon too.
Ethan.
It helps you because you see these people and you say, if they can get through that and I have this problem, if this is going on in my life, then you feel like, so they end up helping you.
Oh, wow. So you go to CrimeCon to realize my life really isn't so bad. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, Cheryl, it didn't go very well for Stacey being there when there was a presentation about her son's injuries and she stood up in front of the whole crowd and said, these are kids. I think that was probably pretty traumatizing for her. But yeah, it makes you think your life isn't so bad. This is the woman that recruits these victims in. Does she tell the victims that, hey, you know, when you come, it really makes the people that come to CrimeCon feel better because they haven't gone through the shit you've gone through? What in the hell kind of shit is this? Look at her with her Sharpie. Get over your fucking self. Because
For making it happen.
thank you so much, Cram It. Because I have extra cash every month these days. And damn it, I'm a rich girl. Girl, bye. I'm going to need a basic crash course in Lauren if anyone is up for it. Y'all know why. Oh, we will fill you in Discord. We will. Thank you, Cram.
I love about CrimeCon too. It helps you because you see these people and you say, if they can get through that and I have this problem, if this is going on in my life, then you feel like, so they end up helping you where you think, okay, this is the worst thing that ever happened to them. You find strength in that. You look at them and say, oh my gosh, how can, and I remember calling Yardley's mom to say, would you like to come to CrimeCon on the panel?
See, she is the connection. She called Yardley's mom. Would you like to come to CrimeCon? Just like she did Abby's mother. And Abby's mother said, no, I'm not interested. And she talked her into it. I agree, Destined. It was really weird.
How can, and I remember calling Yardley's mom to say, would you like to come to CrimeCon on the panel? She talked to me for an hour and a half. I was in a parking lot about to go get lunch, and I talked to her, was tearing up about some guy I dated when I was 16 who was a jerk and seeing patterns.
What? So this Yardley's mom, I guess Yardley was someone who was murdered like 15 years ago. And she's talking about a conversation she had with Yardley's mom. And she was crying about a guy that she dated when she was 16. And he was a jerk and she was seeing patterns.
for an hour and a half. I was in a parking lot about to go get lunch, and I talked to her, was tearing up about some guy I dated when I was 16 who was a jerk, and seeing patterns and how that's what they do. They go from school to school. And my niece, Hadley, she's a freshman in college now at Holy Cross. Field hockey, shout out. No, but she saw the Love Foundation movie about relationships in high school and like what to look for, the warning signs. We don't learn that.
Right.
So it's what she's done and kind of how she helped Stacy through healing. But that's, I think you're right. When you kind of learn something that you didn't know and you get strength through that, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like a better person leaving this interview than before.
Right. Exactly. And pointing that out, I want to also say there was, I want to say thank you to Joe Petito because he was having fun with all of us. And at one point he said, look,
we love you, Joe. These people need to stop with the I love yous.
Because he was having fun with all of us. And at one point he said, look,
he was with all of us. Hear that at CrimeCon? He was with all of us.
Because he was having fun with all of us. And at one point he said, Lauren, let's go outside for a little bit. The meeting area was in and out, right? Where everyone sort of gathered. He's like, Lauren, let's go out in front outside the fire for a little bit. And we sat and talked. And I think there were a couple other people that came out later, but he said, I want to hear your story. So he said,
oh, that's what I love about Joe.
He goes, tell me.
Oh my God. He said, I want to hear your story. They were probably drunk. That's probably the only time that anybody wants to hear your story, Lauren, is when they're drunk.
So he said,
oh, that's what I love about Joe.
He goes, tell me what it was about Gabby. You keep telling me that Gabby touched you. I want to hear why. And I was able to tell him, and you know my story and I know your story. And you and I both know why Gabby's story touched us. But I was able to tell him and he listened. And these victims, survivors, these people whose families have been changed forever. And I want to, bring out, Gabby's 4 parents. They sit there and they listen and they're talking to people to try to understand more because of what happened to their daughter, and to starting the Gabby Petito Foundation to help other women, because he said so many women and men have come to us and said, your daughter's story was mine. And that is why they wanted to help. And a lot of these victims too, I think what helped me at CrimeCon too was also seeing what I can do as a podcaster or in this space now that I sort of am overwhelmed with the platform that I've been given and you too, and seeing how we can help and how victims do want their stories told for the right reasons, and
it's
and
healing.
just listening. It's healing. And so
that's how I met Joe. I know you know that because I was in the parking lot of CNN, HLN. It's clear as day. And I was
in the parking lot of CNN, HLN. It's as clear as day, my memory.
covering Delphi. I was overwhelmed. I was kind of burnt out, but you can compartmentalize. So I'm walking to my car and because the assignment desk said, this is Joe Petito's number, call him if you get him, great, see if you could interview him. That was it. He's like, hey, Susan, it's Joe. And I went, oh, because I didn't expect the call back from him. And I go, I'm just so sorry about Gabby. I start crying because I was going through a bad divorce. And I was crying to him. It was mortifying.
Oh, shit. I hit that damn button again.
It's time to get out.
Oh, my God.
It's time to get funky.
I hit the wrong button.
It's time for us to smile. 'Cause here comes Max Spunky.
Sorry about that.
Compartmentalized. So I'm walking to my car and because the assignment desk said, this is Joe Petito's number, call him if you get him, great, see if you could interview him. That was it. He's like, hey, Susan, it's Joe. And I went, oh, because I didn't expect the call back from him. And I go, I'm just so sorry about Gabby. I start crying because I was going through a bad divorce. And I was crying to him. It was more.
She's crying to Joe Petito about her fucking divorce. McSpunky.
Mortifying because you don't want to. I mean, come on. It's not about me.
How the fuck could you even talk to Joe Petito about a fucking divorce? Stop it. This is not professional. These people act like they're professionals. They're not. Clearly, they're not. Mystic, I'm so glad you're here. That is weird, right? God, they're so self-centered.
No, I'm just so sorry about Gabby. I start crying because I was going through a bad divorce and I was crying to him. It was mortifying because you don't want to, I mean, come on. It's not about me, his daughter, right? Gabby was murdered. So.
Really? You think it's about him? Can we say number 12 because she said Gabby again? Fuck.
He just said, no, Susan, it's all right. You're not the first. It's okay. Don't cry. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So exactly to your point, Lauren, that like he has that personality. The whole family does. They walk the walk. They really do this. Yeah. They know that Gabby got a lot of attention. They literally are trying to.
They walk the walk. They really do this as compared to what? Some people really don't walk the walk and aren't really doing this. Susan, shame on you. Shame on you dumping your problems on a victim. As a CNN HLN reporter, says a lot to me. Says fucking volumes to me.
He said, no, Susan, it's all right. You're not the first. It's okay. Don't.
Susan, you're not the first. Joe had to say, Susan, it's okay. You're not the first. Unbelievable.
So he just said, no, Susan, it's all right. You're not the first. It's okay. Don't cry. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So exactly to your point, Lauren, that like he has that personality. The whole family does. They walk the walk. They really do this. Yeah. They know that Gabby got a lot of attention. They literally are trying to change different laws in each state to have it so if you're watching or your daughter or son is missing, you'll get that attention. But he wants to hear your story. And he said that to me, that other journalists have come up and said, have cried to him. And he's like, well, you should tell it. And some people can, or some people can't. So, oh my gosh, that is something that I wish everyone could experience because he really now truly understands like everything. Even though if you think your story is minimal, if you went through something, it's not minimal. It's not because you went through that and it's prevented you from doing certain things. It's a traumatic incident in your life. And so it's healing, I feel. Whether he wanted to hear my story or not, it was helpful.
Nice. Whether he wanted to hear it or not. Hey, Mike S. I just dropped the Discord link in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. And in helping they know that Gabby got a lot of attention and to see their efforts in trying to get other victims' attention has also been really touching to see. You know, you reached out to us to say, hey, the foundation is hoping that this case gets more attention and, you know, we try to cover it.
Lauren steps up every time. I swear you do. So thank you.
Well, survivors of crime have just been incredible. And I think that is what CrimeCon is all about. I think that summarizes it. It's let's take what happened to us. You know, this is the survivors and the victims of crime and make the world better. And as you and I on the other side of it with these platforms, how can we help? How can we move and how can we, you know, benefit with communication and with voices? And I also want to just ask Susan what you are up to with Headline Crime with Susan Hendricks. I see that you're doing a lot of interviews and like
she's still working for CNN and doing all this shit. No problem. Thanks, Meg. No cult for me. Yep.
And you are doing incredible things at CrimeCon as a presenter, as a panel, as a voice. But tell us what you're up to.
Well, I'd like to interview, but this is my home right now, the hotel. But Dave Vito, I want to interview them. It's so funny. I'll ask about the table coming up. I will interview Kim Goldman.
Oh, she roboted because of the hotel, because hotel Wi-Fi. You mean CNN doesn't supply you with a mobile hotspot, Susan, to do all of your after hours work? I know. CNN is, I call it the Clinton News Network. Back in the 90s, that's what I called it. The Clinton News Network. I don't know who these two guys are. But there's another photo op. Miss Leopard Print, HLN reporter. Can we get 13 for HLN? There we go. David Vito.
Up to.
Well, I'd like David to interview, Vito. This is my home right now, the hotel. But Dave Vito, I want to interview them. It's so funny.
I know, but who the hell is Dave Vito?
I'll ask about the table. Coming up, I will interview Kim Goldman. That's on
She's going to interview Kim Goldman, the sister of Ron Goldman.
the books because she wants to talk about the Koberger victim impact statements. And she was telling me, I met her at CrimeCon years and years ago. She said, look, I wish, because Ron, her brother, was killed along with Nicole Brown Simpson. And she said,
oh my God, we got too many names to even count. I think we got 17 now. In 8 minutes, 17 names.
I wish they could all be televised because it's really, you know, of course, seeing Kaylee Gonzalez's sister, Olivia. So she said she'd like to talk about that, which I would too, in terms of, you know, that's the one thing. Maybe in Delphi they could have put cameras for that. Who knows? But that's why Josh was able to go to read his. He wanted to.
Oh,
but so Kim Goldman to talk about that, and of course Dave Vito to talk about his idol Vinnie Politan. But
Vinnie, we
so
got
that's
21.
coming up once I get into my house soon.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to that. And everyone, definitely go subscribe to Susan Hendricks' channel. You are an incredible journalist, an incredible person, incredible friend. I'm so glad that we are friends, but also we just need voices like yours in this wild world of true crime. I wish it wasn't so wild, but true crime is that. And so,
yeah, you made it wild at CrimeCon, didn't you, Warren?
But, you know, we do our best. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you for joining us from your hotel room. And we appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you.
Bye.
That was cringe. We had 21 name drops, literally, in 10 minutes. There had to be more than 100 in that entire live. Crazy. So again, I want to reiterate here that these two were thick as thieves at CrimeCon. As far as I'm concerned, these two were thick as thieves. She knew exactly what was going on with Christina. She wrote her a declaration as well. Remember Susan Hendricks' declaration? This interview, Bobby, was September 25th. And hey, Shabugs, I believe there's another interview. Let me see. Hang on one second. I thought I had saved it. True crime. Susan Hendricks. Now, Susan is promoting her YouTube channel as well. We have another one, 11 months ago with these two. Would you guys like to review this one as well? Susan and Lauren, we can get them two out of the way. Headline crime, Susan. I've got a little bit more time. This one's not nearly as long. Does she look scared, though? I mean, she was, with them. She was hanging with her friends, she said. All these connections. Okay, let's do it, lady. Let's pull it up here. This one is Delphi discussion. Oh, this ought to be good. Okay. Here we have, she's got her awards behind her. This must be remodel. So this is going to be 11 months ago. This is about a year ago, November 23rd of 2024. So this is a year behind this. Thank you, Kira. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Let's do it, lady. I guess we can count name drops in this one as well. Let's zero it out. I'm going to drop the Discord link again for those that didn't pick it up the first time. There it is. Salty, thank you so much for your $5 super sticker. That really is nice of you, and it supports the channel. Thank you. Okay, let's get this going here. All right, again, this is 1 year ago. So it'll be kind of interesting seeing how they are with each other now versus then. All right, let's get into it. Delphi double murders trial discussion with Susan Hendricks.
Hello, Hidden Gems. It is Lauren, and I wanted to bring you an interview with someone very special to me. Someone that I got to know during the Richard Allen trial. Her name is Susan Hendricks, as you can see there on her screen. For those of you watching, for those of you listening, I am with the Susan Hendricks. She was in HLN.
Look at this. Look at this. This is fucking hilarious. Thank you for being here, Mellow Yellow.
Anchor, as well as you were on CNN Pipeline, CNN
It
Anchor.
was CNN. I was on Anderson Cooper's show for about 5 years, doing the headlines and stuff like that. That was an experience. I'm grateful that I was on that show.
Yes, and that's where I first saw you, and actually you lived my dream, because when I started broadcasting, I said,
"Oh, she lived her dream." There we go. Mama Bear, thanks for being here. There we go. You lived my dream that she gave up for her child and John.
That's where I first saw you, and actually you lived my dream, because when I started broadcasting, I said my main goal was to be a CNN. On CNN. So you did it, I didn't. But thank you for coming on my show.
Oh my gosh, it's great to be on.
Yes. And
wow, there's so much more distant here. Huh.
I got to know Susan. Mostly I want to introduce, though, that you are the author. You're an author of Down the Hill. And I'll actually bring that up. Tell us a little bit about when you wrote this book, and I will share it here on the screen.
Well, Lauren, I covered the story when it broke. It was 2017, as you know, when the girls went missing. So the next day it was breaking news when they found the bodies.
She's got it pulled up.
And that's when I first covered it on the set. And in my ear, as you know, being in the same business as I was, in my ear, the producer would say, okay, we have breaking news. They discovered these bodies, Delphi, Indiana. You'll be interviewing a man who owns the property where the bodies were discovered. So that, of course, is Ron Logan. So they say after the commercial break, you'll talk to him, mic check. And I said, Ron, can you hear me? Yes, I can. And then coming back from break, it was Ron Logan saying, nothing like this had ever happened here. And my boys would play down there. And so that was the beginning of this. Little did I know, fast forward, and HLN sent me there and said, we're going to do some more of a long form on this story.
Yes, we are counting name drops.
And HLN really didn't do that. We were mostly trials with Casey Anthony, Jodi Arias. So I said, okay, let's go. So I went there and met then Detective Jerry Holman, Tobe Lesenby. He was the sheriff at the time. I met Becky and Mike. And I don't think I met Tara at the time. So
God, we're up to 9.
First time, and Kelsey, of course.
Oh,
and she took us, 2 photojournalists, producer, myself, to the Monon High Bridge, which looks very different than it does today. So that was the beginning of this. And they were so open and so warm, and I felt horrible seeing pictures of Libby everywhere, welcoming me and the producers and everyone into their kitchen. Mike made spaghetti and meat sauce that day. So it just made me feel so different than the other stories, because as you know, Lauren, the cycle keeps on going, the news cycle of the next story, the next story, the next story. And you're not really able to get close to anyone when you're covering these. So it was a new experience, and I felt for them, and I noticed how strong Kelsey was. I think she was, at the time I met her, 18. And fast forward 2019, the press conference, that was the second time I went there with Superintendent Doug Carter saying,
yes,
change of direction in the new sketch.
Hidden in plain sight. Hidden in plain sight. Yes.
Exactly. Or we believe you lived in Delphi or from Delphi, and we believe you could be in this room. Yes. And I'll never forget that day, because everyone's in the room. I'm kind of sitting on the carpeting, front row there, and thinking, oh my gosh, in this room, and taking notes. And I recorded it on my phone, and I put my phone down, so I still have that. But you could tell I'm writing notes. And then I was on CNN Live for the next, 15 hours of like, oh my gosh, was he in the room, and all the questions. So as I got to know these families, and
1 year old,
was watching as it was occurring, the investigation, I thought this could be a book about what the families are experiencing from their point of view.
And it's an incredible book. You know, I listened to it actually on Audible, because that's what we did when we were at the trial. There was no time to leisurely read, right? But I had my ears on and I was actually listening, and it was so touching to me hearing Kelsey German actually read the foreword. I was so touched by that. I want to say thank you for that, and thank you for not just including the family, but having her first and right there. Let's hear from Kelsey before we even delve in what this was like for her. That was really touching and moving.
And she really is an excellent writer. She told me when I first met her, before the book was even a thought, about how she loved to write and how it was healing for her. And I thought about her writing the foreword, and she said yes. And I was so grateful that she did. And it just shows you hear her when she also tracked it. The loss, such a loss of her sister, not just a sister, but her best friend. And Lauren, I know that you met the families. Not only did you meet them, but they really appreciated and still do what you do and your work. And that meant so much, because there is, believe it or not, for those who don't know this, vitriol in the true crime space. I don't know.
Really? Is there?
We could talk for hours about how that came about. And
yeah, well, let's talk. We can talk.
Yeah. Yes. And it's not, I'm just going to open this.
I cannot. I cannot. Can I get some Coke Zeros for that sound, though? Thank you, Susan, for cracking that.
And it's not, I'm just going to open this. And I think, but early on with Kelsey, of course, she wasn't expecting any of this. She was thrown into this whirlwind, if you will. She was on Dr. Phil soon after.
Oh, there we
and
go.
This crime got a lot of attention, Lauren, as you know, because of what Libby caught on her phone, the man on the bridge and the walking and the voice. So it's rare that you get in a case like this to hear who authorities believed. At the time, first, they just wanted to talk to that person, and then they believed that he was involved, whoever bridge guy was. And it's rare that you're able to hear the voice of someone you believed murdered those girls. And Mike, early on, and I repeat this because it stuck with me,
Mike,
Libby's grandfather, who she was living with, said,
Mike,
Susan, I really think she was going to come home and say, Grandpa, look at this creepy guy that we saw on the bridge. And that never happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's exactly what she would have done. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
and just gosh. So after that, of he could be in this room and the change of direction. I remember Detective Holman calling me.
Oh, Lord.
It's so good to see him at the trial. It really is full circle. I know he's poured his heart into this investigation. But he did call me. We did a special when I got back, HLN did, and we had all these guests, attorneys, former FBI, in a circle panel on set. Jesus. And he said, Susan, give me a call when you can. So I called him and he joked and he said, you sure mention the FBI a lot. And I said, well, you don't talk to me about anything. And he said, well, that was our idea, not theirs, the press conference. So, and I thought, oh my gosh, well, who's that? So, and now knowing what I know now and looking back, it was kind of this break, which obviously I think happens a lot more than we know. You see it in the movies, but a break of like, okay, who has control? Who's in control of this investigation? And we found out now that Superintendent Doug Carter, who testified at the trial, said that, yes, he did say, okay, FBI are free of your services for us, but he said they knew that they could call them at any time to pitch in.
Yeah,
but the day-to-day.
Sorry, that's not good enough. They should have never pushed the FBI out, because the FBI had a whole nother narrative and they pushed them right out. Oh, no, we don't need your help. Bullshit, Susan.
Investigative process was really with Indiana State Police.
And I have so many questions for you. As you know, I watched from the public. I saw you reporting on it. I learned about this crime with the public, and it wasn't until the arrest in 2022 that I jumped on it as a podcaster and started reporting on what I was seeing. I have so many questions for you. I feel like you need to write a sequel to the book post the trial. By the way, I hope you do.
Well, once I was able to write the book, or knew that I was going to write the book, I thought, oh my gosh, do I know how to write a book? And it was harder than anything I've ever done, because it's not what I was used to. It's really kind of you. And it's clearly a story.
Becky, enjoy your day.
That I knew the people, so I wanted it to be exactly right. and going through my notes and having this stack and feeling overwhelmed. And felt like Tom Hanks talking to a volleyball in my room. I stayed in my room for 5 months every single day. My son was like, please don't write another book. But
I've heard that about writing a book. You just, you hunker down and you don't talk and you don't eat and you just.
Wow. Her son was also telling her, don't write another book because he wanted time with his mom. These two have a lot in common.
And going through my notes and having this stack and feeling overwhelmed. And felt like Tom Hanks talking to a volleyball in my room. I stayed in my room for 5 months every single day. My
5 months every single day.
son was like, please don't write another book. But
I've heard that about writing a book. You just, you hunker down and you don't talk and you don't eat and you just.
And it's on my end. I was the type of person in college, I'd cram, and even high school the night before. So I squeezed in what should have been writing each day into like 5 months. It just wrote. But I knew the story, and I remember sending Becky a chapter and saying, what do you think of this? And what do you think of, because I wanted them to know. I asked Becky what she thought of it, and I wanted them
sending the victims chapters
to know that this is the perspective I'd be taking from their point of view, not from any other point of view. And really I did talk about the investigation too, but it was never my intent or who I am as a person, period, to try to investigate this murder, these murders, the horrific murders. But it wasn't my thing to do. There are people out there that Deanna Thompson, I was lucky enough to interview for part of the book. She's in Don't F with Cats, that Netflix show. And she has the investigative skill that
is our body moving. Body moving. That's our one and only Body. She's talking about Deanna. Shout out to Body.
Are people out there that Deanna Thompson, I was lucky enough to interview for part of the book. She's in Don't F with Cats, that Netflix show. And she has the investigative skill that I just didn't want the perspective to be from that angle, because that's not what I did or do.
It's a wonderful book, and you really did put the family angle.
Hey, Kresha. Wouldn't Lauren know how to write a book? She said, I heard when you write a book, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't she be able to relate due to her experience? Did she actually write hers? I actually thought it was very interesting she didn't bring up her book in this conversation, Kresha. And it's good to see you. I hope you are having a good Saturday.
Go in. I recommend
you too,
it to
Macy.
anyone. And I find it interesting as a journalist, you really delved into this case, as you say. This sort of became your human interest case. In other words, you would go from crime to crime. As you say, it never gets easier. You just put your game face on. We do what we do. And this one really grabbed you, and you could not let this go. You sort of explained why. You went to dinner, you met the Patties, you met the families. Tell me about, what we just concluded this trial. What was it like seeing this through, a sort of your story, and being there, knowing the families, being so involved, having written a book, watching this trial play out? Because I have to say this, as I pointed out, I came on this later, right, than you. This was a trial unlike any trial I've ever reported on.
Me too.
What are your thoughts seeing this through?
Well, we're great. I know you are too. It just comes with the job of compartmentalizing. You have to. So you can cover certain stories, and that's what you're able to do. But with this, and I mentioned this in the book, is that for the first time I felt like I was on their side of the camera and not my side, because you're protected by that. And you move on and you move on and you move on and you move on. It doesn't mean you're not empathetic. It just means that it's the next news cycle.
It's your job. You do what you do.
Exactly. And I've even gotten criticized for this a lot, for being on that side. But I thought, well, it's a perspective I'm taking, and I sound like I'm nonchalant now, but like sometimes it does bother me, or it did.
I imagine.
And I always go back to like, all right, it's not about you. It's never about me. It's about these families. And I just was sensitive to it. And you know what? The bottom line is I just cared. They invited me in, and I cared. I cared what happened to them. I cared about the horrific day to day that they would have to go through without the girls. And I think it was being in their homes. And I was at Abby's home as well with her grandmother, Diane, showing me photo albums and seeing Abby's sneakers and her cat Bongo, her black cat, and her swing set. It's like they were just there. So that's what was so heart-wrenching. And if you don't, so it's easy to hide behind a computer and say, and implicate family members, which is gross, but to do that when you don't know them, and then they're almost not human to you. And you could, I don't say easy, and I'm not saying everybody does this. All you need is a select few. And, but that's hurtful. And so I guess it was me becoming close to them and getting to know them on a different level. But I do remember what Paul Holes told me. This was CrimeCon in Las Vegas, and this is before anyone was arrested. I believe it was 2021. It was September, I believe. No, that was Orlando. So this is Las Vegas. And on
This
stage,
was Las Vegas. I was there too. I think it was 20.
Oh, you
was
were?
it 2021? Yeah. Orlando was after.
Oh.
Right? So
I wish I could have met you
think it
then.
was. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so they were at CrimeCon but didn't meet each other.
And Paul Holes did say, first of all, he's a wonderful person, and his level of being able to detect things and see things that we don't is unprecedented, clearly. But he is modest. And I remember him saying, Susan, are you sure they don't mind if I'm on stage with you? And I'm thinking, because they did invite me to speak with them to be the host of the panel. And I said, let me check with Mike. I said, Mike, what do you think about Paul Holes being on stage? And, he's not that slick kind of a guy that maybe people think he is. He's really modest and kind. And the reason I asked that way is because I didn't want the families, because it's their dialogue and it's whatever they want to say to help get the word out there. And he said, and Mike is funny. He said, I'll think about it. He said, yeah, you can have him on. And just, I think he added so much, and of course told the family what he thought. And I saw Mike really kind of zoning in on Paul Holes. But he did say this: once someone is arrested, it just doesn't go away. It's not because they were looking for someone for so long, handing out flyers. They worked tirelessly. But he said that it'd be a new mourning period, a different sense of mourning. And you would look at this person, whoever it was, person or persons at that time, and say, is that the last person they saw? And it's a different type of emotional roller coaster. And I saw that once someone was arrested, Richard Allen, it looked like someone took the wind out of Becky's sails. She looked depleted, and she's always a go-getter, go, 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 go. Yeah. And each family, for those who don't know the story as well as we do, the families were very different. Abby's family is more kind of reserved. And when Mike did his first press conference, before I met the families, this was March, I believe, 7th, right after it happened, 2017. And he said, please don't contact Abby's family. You can go through.
I think it's very weird that they're on a first name basis, or not on a first name basis, but that she's saying it Mike. Like everyone's supposed to know Mike. It's a weird dynamic they got going on here. Oh my gosh. Someone sent me a gift from Amazon, but there's no, oh, there is a gift receipt. Hold on. I interrupt this programming for a thank you. LOL, happy birthday, Jay, from Dreams. I got another gift from Dreams. Let's see. Thank you so much. You guys made my birthday so special. What is this? OMG. Are you kidding me, Dreams? I got a croc. Oh my goodness. You guys, I got to turn on my camera. Don't judge me right now. But you guys have to see what she got me. They're Croc air fresheners. This is like in honor of Granny's watching. Hold on. Okay, look. They're little air fresheners. Look. They go on the vents of your car. There's different colored ones. Dreams, these are so cute. I always make fun of Granny and her Crocs. Oh my God, there's different colors. Look. And they come with these little packets that go inside the Croc. Aren't those adorable? Dreams, that's so cute. Oh, look, there's a pink one. Hold on. Yep, these clip onto your vents. Look. Freaking cute. Thank you so much, Dreams. Those are adorable. My grand is going to love them. Oh, my goodness. That is such a cute idea. Oh, my goodness. Y'all are too much. Y'all are just too much. Thank you. I have the cutest things because of you guys. And there's all different scents. Tropical, lemon. Thank you again, Dreams. I know. I can't wait to send Granny pictures. She's going to be like, jelly. Okay, let's get back to this. She says, please don't contact Abby's family. She's told.
Week 7th, right after it happened, 2017. And he said, please don't contact Abby's family. You can go through me. And he thanked the media, and he read a letter from the family on their behalf. And that's when he kind of knew, okay, Mike's at the head of this right now. And Abby's family is handling this different because, of course, every family is different.
Every family is different. Right.
And I think that's true about the trial. I think now it's a different period of mourning for them that he was found guilty. I know the sentencing is December 20th, but so he was found guilty. Now what? The girls still aren't in their homes. The laughter's gone. The moment's gone. They will forever. I remember interviewing Kim Goldman's father, and he said, Susan, forever Ron Goldman.
Ron Goldman, here
will
we go.
be that age, 25 to me, and never grow old. And that's true. There were milestones with Libby's friends, and they got to decorate their own parking space in high school. And she never got to do that. And now that Kelsey's a mom to a little girl who's so cute, and she's pregnant again with a girl, she won't be able to have those experiences and meet Kelsey's daughter. So every milestone, it's always this hole in their heart. So I think that probably is what they're going through now.
You know, if I were them, I don't know how they handled what they did during the trial. Watching them from far, you know, there's a gag order. There's conspiracy theories. There's lies. There's people accusing family members of things still, you know, years later, 7 years later. I felt the angst. Like I feel like if I had been them, I would have screamed and been so upset. I just want to thank you again. I think in this situation, because of that, they really did rely on trusted reporters and people like you. Did you sense that, or
I did? And
you can share about that?
I did. I feel like Becky speaking, especially, I know that CrimeCon, if you're not familiar with what that is, and Lauren, maybe you've discussed it, but it's
Lord, here she is bringing up CrimeCon. Yep, 17 minutes in. Not sure if everybody's familiar with CrimeCon.
Where victims' families and can come together and either get the word of the case out there, or it's just people, the audience members are people who love true crime or want to help or just are really engaged. And I know for those who don't know, it sounds weird, CrimeCon, but you don't dress up. It's not like Comic-Con, but I found it to be, before my first year there, it was New Orleans. I think 2019 was my first year with the families, and I didn't know what to expect, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do public speaking. I was so nervous, but the crowd is so warm and welcoming. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced. It's a wonderful crowd. And that is where I know Kevin Balfwell, and he's one of the guys who first started this, put this on with the Red Seat Ventures. And
there we go. This was prior to Red Seat Ventures selling to Fox. Kevin is one of the founders of CrimeCon.
I do believe that Kelsey found solace there, was able to connect. That to me is what I found.
There's the victims at CrimeCon with their champagne, photo ops, lanyards, the whole bit.
The most of. You're able to connect with people who really know how you feel, really can say, my sister was murdered too. Where else can you find that? So I think, and Becky has said to me, that really helped Kelsey to.
Where else can you find that? Hey, my sister was murdered too. Maybe at a support group. I don't know.
Be able to, okay, now I'm an advocate. I have purpose. She didn't die in vain. These girls did not die in vain. So I believe that Becky found that to be healing as well. And I know that during that particular CrimeCon, Diane was there too, Abby's grandmother, on stage, and talking about, she said, look, I can't change something. What happened? I'll never be able to bring Abby back. She said, my heart's broken for my daughter. That was her only daughter, Abby's mom she was talking of. So it was just kind of the stages and the heartbreak that they go through and all the missed timeline, everything on the timeline, all the missed kind of milestones that they go through. So I think that she found that healing. And by no means am I the only journalist that the families have spoken to. And I know throughout this, before the gag order, Rafael Sanchez comes to mind. They trusted, he's local Indiana, and we got to see them at the trial. So there were people that they trusted, and you know, Becky's a very forgiving person and a kind person. I can't stress that enough. And so is Mike, and so is Diane. But she's open to say, she'll come up to you and say, "Hey, how are you?" She'll remember everyone's name, and so I think that she felt that was kind of healing for her throughout. And I think once the gag order is lifted, maybe she won't, but maybe she would like to. There is no such thing as closure. I've learned that throughout, but I'm sure that she'll speak again and talk about her experience.
Yeah, they were so brave in the courtroom too. You know, they were there to witness everything. They were so strong to you know, even some of those hardest photos to look at. And I would look over, and they were there just being so strong, bearing witness to their, you know, their granddaughter, their sister. It was. I am so impressed by this family and what they have been warriors for these girls.
Okay, I'm back.
Were you there when Cicero was on the stand?
Yes. Yes, I was there.
Yes.
Taking us through.
When Cicero was on the stand, the blood expert, is it Major Patrick Cicero? And that was the day, because getting into court was a whole other situation that everyone had to go through. And that's how I feel like I know Lauren so much more so than I would if we could just walk into court.
I know.
I'm
That's where we
grateful
got to
for
know each
that.
other.
If
I
we
would
could
say the
just walk-
line. We all bonded.
I mean, if we could just walk in, that's a whole, topic within itself.
Yes.
But that was the day I had a media badge. You're like the chosen one, but it would rotate. And then it was out of the media pool. But that was the day that I took notes. And so you're in the front row. And that's the day that I'm the pool reporter. So I knew that everyone would be looking at my notes. Now, I wasn't used to writing for hours and hours and getting every quote. And I had highlighters and I'm trying to do my best. And it was Cicero. So you're paying attention to every single word. And I had seen him on the stand at a hearing at the end of July, beginning of August.
I swear to God, if Lauren could shoot daggers out of her eyes, she would be.
And I knew that it was heart-wrenching to hear him. It truly was. He was on the stand and they're showing images. And I had yet to see the crime scene photos at this particular point. Maybe they showed one in court. I'm not sure if before that, but this was up close.
Yeah.
And the technology, they weren't that savvy in the courtroom. And so it was almost like a big iPad that was shown, not a TV screen. So if you touched it, it would zoom in. And Cicero got up and he touched it and it zoomed in and it was Libby, like with blood on her face. And
oh my God.
It's so horrible. And
there was an audible gasp at that moment in the courtroom.
And I know you know this because I hear that a lot, the audible gasp. And sometimes I'm wondering, was there, or is that just in writing? There was when he talked about the blood across Libby's face. And I'm sorry to be graphic, but it was up, you would see. And then he talked about kind of how that could occur. And he believed she was dragged by one arm a couple of yards. And he was talking about like a mark on her face. And he said, without the presence of water, I took down the quote, that would coincide with what would be a tear. He was basically saying it was a tear. And that was the gasp, Lauren. Do you remember that?
God. Caw, caw. Tragedy vulture.
He said, without the presence of water, I took down the quote, that would coincide with what would be a tear. He was basically saying it was a tear. And that was the gasp, Lauren. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was so like, it really was. Oh my gosh. Because I remember Becky saying to me, I hope she didn't suffer. Well, a tear says she knows what was going on. She knows. So that was like, oh my gosh, I'll never forget that day. And not that I wouldn't have paid attention where I was sitting. I probably wouldn't have seen as much, but it was just, I'll never forget that moment ever. And I can't imagine being the families and seeing that.
Right. And that front row, to explain to everyone, when you're the pool reporter taking notes, again, usually being a pool reporter means you get to have audio or a video and then you just hand it over. You're in charge of actually handwritten notes. You are sitting on the front row where you can hear the best. Each row back is harder to hear. You know, I express that to our listeners multiple times and you can't hear. So you're that day, in other words, you're there, you're front and center, you're hearing and seeing everything.
Everything's elevated, right? Which I've covered a lot of court cases. I've never been in a courtroom that long for the whole entire trial. Even if it was for CNN or HLN, I'd go in for a couple of days, come back.
The news cycle. You've got to get everything done. Yeah,
exactly. And when it was Casey Anthony, let's say it was Michael Lanos, who I worked with, he was there, or Sandusky, he was in the courtroom. So for me to be there every single day, and you know, court cases, they have ebbs and flows, and a day could be, for lack of a better word, boring if you're talking about DNA or lack thereof and the scientific aspect.
This is wild. We have 51 name drops in 24 minutes of video.
And the bullet and the markings on an unspent bullet. So, but this day everything was elevated, and I didn't realize in a courtroom, and maybe it was because it was Carroll County, I'm not sure, but the acoustics, you couldn't hear anything in the back, especially. Right. I think that Judge Gold changed that a little bit, and McClellan would always stand up and say, you have to project your voice. And I remember it was, there was someone on the stand that finally spoke really close to the mic. I'm like, that, because it can be an issue if you're trying to hear and listen to everything. But that day was elevated for me and so horrific.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that and explaining how that happened. And yes, we got to know each other through the line. You're right. Had you been able to get it in access every day?
And you might have mentioned this, but so you lined up and everyone had to get in, and it was, and I would never want to talk about it inside because I felt like we were complaining and we weren't allowed to talk. But if we could, at a moment where Judge Gold wouldn't be mad at us, I didn't want to seem like I was complaining, because once you get in, you're like, okay, you can exhale, and you're like, this is a double murder trial of 2 young girls. You never forgot that, but you didn't want to complain about anything. No. Well, slowly but surely word got out, and this just tells you who they are, to the families, and they brought food in the middle of the night, pizza, you name it. Becky was telling me that, Tara.
Oh, we got Becky and Tara. That makes 54. And remember that Lauren made a comment that the food that Becky handed out could have been poisoned.
Libby's aunt would swing by food. I mean, they cared about us. And some people on that line weren't that nice to the families, but they brought pizza anyway. So that just
right. Exactly. A lot of people there were not nice to the family. They were still bringing food to us at 4 a.m. and at 5 a.m. in the morning. It was
just shows you who they are. And once you got
poison donuts
in, and I know, Lauren, you know this, and then so there'd be a morning break, and then there was a lunch break. You had to go back down and line up. At times, I felt like I was at Rikers, and you don't want to make the false move, or you're in trouble. I would
right. And then if you think you're safe, there was one day, I don't know if you were there that day. There was one day I thought I was safe. I had hit every goalpost.
Yeah,
I had been there since it was pitch black outside. I had line sitters. We were up. There's this line. There's a line outside, and there's a line getting in. Then there's a line at the top of the stairs. And then once you're there and they count you, you're like good to go, right? And I was in that line, and all of a sudden I was like, I have to go to the bathroom right now. I actually didn't feel well. So I was nauseous. I was like,
I was there.
You were there. So that's what people don't realize either is I had already used the restroom I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, TMI, but I was like, I'm going to throw up right now. And I just ran to the restroom. And I came back out, right? And he was like, back a line. And I was like, but
this deputy, 99% of them were nice, right?
And he was nice too. I was like, I understand.
Well,
I respected him.
Really. He was not nice. And I remember, okay, so that day, this guy was mean and he was angry at something and you just ran up, but he acted like you just ran up from outside and didn't spend the whole night outside. And he was like, no,
I spent the whole night there. I was like, but
I'm thinking, oh no, God, no, she's been on this line.
Was that Joe Schmo? Who are they talking about?
So we get in, you finally got in that day, right?
I did. I was the last one in. Yeah.
Did he say sorry or anything?
I have a bad habit of wanting to explain myself. And so I was like, no, I was here. And he didn't want to hear it, right? He didn't want to hear it. And I was like, but you don't understand. Back a line. So after everybody went in, I stopped my bad habit. And I was just like, I understand. I respect you. And he softened a bit and he's like, okay, you've got one spot in there. And
a lot of these deputies work in the prisons. And
wow. What a bitch.
Softened a bit and he's like, okay, you've got one spot in there. And
a lot of these deputies work in the prisons, in the jail. So it would be like if we were prisoners talking back. They don't want to hear it. They don't
want to hear the excuse. They don't want to hear the excuse.
And they don't care. Everything we just venting about, then they don't care. Judge Earl doesn't care. And I understand it. She's been burned, but this was excessive. So she was on the stand one day and she said, I understand. And the jury, she was very kind to the jurors, of course, and they were out of the room. And she's I hear that people can't hear. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing. I don't care. I only care about the jury and the pool reporters. I don't care about anyone else, clearly, because they kept moving the goalpost. So we'd line up and then we'd line.
Well, I think that's kind of bullshit that the judge didn't care. I mean, it's a public courtroom. The judge should care if the public can't hear. That judge was fucking horrible. It was horrible. But the judge should care if the public can't hear because it is a public courthouse. We didn't get cameras. They should at least make sure the gallery can fucking hear.
Line up again, and then you line up again. And there was one day Kevin and Anya from Murder She were outside.
56, Kevin and Anya. Kevin and Anya.
It was just a cutoff, and I saw Anya's face. And I got to know Kevin and Anya at the hearing in July, and then at the jury selection in Fort Wayne.
Podcast. Murder She, it's a podcast.
Wonderful. So I feel like they're my best friends because once you've gone through all of that. And
you feel like they're your best friends? Are you effing kidding me right now?
I've been waiting in line with them, so I just come out. It was not the same day with you, but it was the same guy. And I said, excuse me, there's 2 more seats in there. And he goes, okay. He goes, worry about your own seat. And I just scurried in. I'm like, okay.
You're like, I know. Do I push? Do I do this? Do I not? Is it a good day? Is it a bad day?
I saw Anya's face. If this was after what happened to you, I wouldn't have made a false move, but I didn't know yet. So I'm like, excuse me. This guy's massive. I mean, he's like, worry about your own seat. I'm like,
you're like, yes, sir. Yeah, got it. And there was one day where Anya actually didn't get in, and sometimes Anya and Kevin would, say, I'll go in and you stay out. But there's one moment which also shows how people really came together. Mm-hmm. And Anya didn't make it. I don't think either of them were in. And someone stood up. It was Anthony. He stood up and he's like, you can have my seat. You're a better reporter than I am. And he got up and left.
So nice of Greeno. And he let me his phone one day.
You're a much better reporter than me. Jesus Christ.
I don't think either of them were in. And someone stood up. It was Anthony. He stood up and he's like, you can have my seat. You're a better reporter than I am. And he got up and left.
Shut up.
Nice of Greeno. And he let me his phone one day. But that was right. People started, you were sticking together on that line everyone, because you're all going through the same.
Who the hell is Greeno? How come I don't know this? Who's Kevin Greeno? Is that his name? Who is that? Who's Greeno?
Thing. to get in there. So needless to say, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the sentencing hearing. But it was, how many days was the trial? Was it 19? It depended on if you.
Have a great day, Hawkeyes. Thanks for being here today. Who's Anthony Greeno? A Delphi local?
Consider jury selection, but it was day in and day out. And on your topic, what you first mentioned was the families were there for everything. 63 plus pieces of evidence. Witnesses on the stand, and like
throw in that Kelsey's pregnant too. Oh, there goes my pillow. But yeah,
every day. The only time she wasn't was when her daughter was sick. But it was every day to see this.
Throw in that Kelsey's pregnant too. 62.
And hear this, but they promised they'd be there, and they were. And granted, this is a very small courtroom, a beautiful courtroom, very small,
tall. I know people get confused, and one big in some ways, tall, big, bad acoustics,
room,
but like
tall,
right,
beautiful. But the seats were limited, and so Becky was concerned there wouldn't even be enough seats for her family members to come. So they went through a lot.
Susan, I want to ask. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're so grateful that you're here, and we know how busy you are. I think one of the big things that as a podcaster and YouTuber and someone reporting at the trial was I was just so surprised at varying views and opinions, as we're all hearing that are fair. But can I ask you where you are and how you feel about this verdict?
Yeah,
I saw you on Tom Webster show too, so I know you're talking about.
Oh, Tom Webster.
I on Tom Webster show. I interrupted too many people. I was at my wit's end. We could leave that out, but I was like, F this.
Oh,
we were all-
I remember the Tom Webster show. She was pissed. I saw part of that.
On our wit's end at some point, so that's fair to say. You can talk about that.
I was like, fuck this. I'm like, there's fucking QAnon crime people.
Damn, Susan. Oh, listen to this. You ain't on CNN right now, honey.
Some point, so that's fair to say. You can talk about that.
I was like, fuck this. I'm like, there's fucking QAnon crime people out there. Because it's Tom's show. I was like, I'm saying.
Damn, Susan. Fuck this, she says.
We were all on our wit's end at some point, so that's fair to say. You can talk about that.
I was like, fuck this. I'm like, there's fucking QAnon crime people out there. Because it's Tom's show. I was like, I'm saying whatever I want. But
QAnon crime people out there, she says.
I'm like, we're not tiptoeing around this anymore. I was losing it like Jack Nicholson in my room. But
I lost it a few times. There were tears.
65.
I wanted to have you on. I'm like, come talk about what we just went through.
And real quick before I answer, my husband was in here setting up, and I'm so glad you said, like, I've never experienced something like that, because I saw his face, because I've been telling him, like, you have no idea. And to hear it from you, like, you just have no idea. So, all right.
And I've sat through full murder trials.
Yeah, this was
and they're all hard. They're all hard. There was just this unique aspect.
You can't make this shit up if you try. It's so fucking nuts. I think I do have PTSD. All right.
I know. That's what I'm trying to tell people.
And it's funny to joke that you have PTSD too, huh? They're talking about the people who think Richard Allen is innocent, I believe. They're calling them QAnon.
Well, so I'm glad I can validate you and your husband heard, because it's really hard to explain to people.
I laid in bed for 2 days and I felt like I've been beat up. I never felt that before. And I've done morning shows my whole career, and I was like, I can't move. And I didn't lift a weight, not do one exercise at 30 days. So it was crazy. All right, I'll answer.
Oh my God. She didn't lift a weight or do any exercise in the 30 days. God forbid.
Answer that question. Okay. So my belief is they do have the right guy. Do I feel like there were mistakes made within the investigation? Yes. Do I feel like that everyone did the best they could with the resources they had and the knowledge they had? Yes.
How can you say that when they pushed away the FBI? Oh, they did the best they could with the resources they had. They had the FBI in front of them and they pushed them away. So why are you leaving that out? Oh, they did the best they could with the resources they had. Their resources were sky's the limit with the FBI. Why the fuck did they push them away? That's what you should be talking about.
Right guy. Do I feel like there were mistakes made within the investigation? Yes. Do I feel like that everyone did the best they could with the resources they had and the knowledge they had? Yes. I believe that Richard Allen was the biggest piece of evidence, his word. I believe Richard Allen. And if you believe Richard Allen And he says he was there at that particular time soon after the murders. I believe it was 2 days later. He came forward to Dan Doolin in that grocery store parking lot and said, I was there. I was there. Then again in 2022, during the interviews, I thought that was a huge day when Liggett was talking to him and the investigator, Steve Mullen. And he said, I was there. What were you wearing? And he said the same outfit. So I believe, or something similar. And I know everyone in Indiana has that kind of uniform, if you will. But I believe that.
Wait, what? Wait, what did she say?
22 during the interviews. I thought that was a huge day when Liggett was talking to him and the investigator, Steve Mullen. And he said, I was there. What were you wearing? And he said the same outfit. So I believe, or something similar. And I know everyone in Indiana has that kind of uniform, if you will. But I believe that
that kind of uniform, if you will. God, this woman is so out of touch. Put a 1 in chat if you think that Susan Hendricks is out of touch. I cannot.
The investigator, Steve Mullen, and he said, I was there. What were you wearing? And he said the same outfit. So I believe, or something similar. And I know everyone in Indiana has that kind of uniform, if you will. But I believe that he was the evidence that they needed to convict. Was I surprised? Was I that there was no DNA? Yes. But I don't think that I'm not an expert by any means, not even close.
Come on, lady. Come on.
Of when DNA is there, when it's not, was the person wearing gloves? But I do believe that the jury, I thought it was I saw it from jury selection. That was the first time I witnessed jury selection. I'm so glad I did. I learned so much. I'm so grateful that they were sequestered because of all the information surrounding this. And I'm so grateful they were from that county and not from Delphi. People are just, as you would understand it, too close. But for those who think that Richard Allen didn't get a fair trial, I believe that he did. And I believe it may have been, I believe it was a disservice to not have at least the audio out there so everyone can make judgments on them on their own and hear all of the confessions. Do I believe that he should have been in that prison? Absolutely not. I think the defense had something to argue there. And I think they argued it. They did a good job. I truly believe that. But do I feel like it was beyond a reasonable doubt that Richard Allen killed Abby and Libby? 100% yes.
Thank you for sharing that. I agree. He shouldn't have been there, but it doesn't change the evidence, and mistakes were made, and it doesn't change the evidence. I see it the way you see it. I trust this jury. They deliberated, they listened, they took notes.
The questions were amazing.
The questions, I know.
You knew that they not only were they listening, but some of their questions, I'm like, these people are highly intelligent.
They were about, I was like, wait, what?
I don't even know what they asked. And
I'm just like thinking of lunch, and you guys are like, what did you just get?
And you could kind of sense, like, based on their particular jobs, kind of what they knew. And I forgot as we went on.
Can you imagine this lady doing her podcast alone? I've never watched her channel, but now I'm curious. True Crime Kate, I'm curious.
Along kind of what each person did for a living or their expertise, but you could clearly sense that they knew what they were talking about with these questions and with the DNA and the ballistics and just the questions. I really thought that gave us a look inside of how they were thinking throughout the trial. And I think that all states should adopt that, because imagine if you and I, Lauren, were on a jury and then we had to go back and deliberate after 375 pieces of evidence and 62 witnesses, I'd think, oh my gosh, what are my questions? So to be able to ask throughout and get those answers, I think were helpful in the deliberation time. But I will say, nothing is a slam dunk. I had no idea what the outcome would be. And people can guess. We did that with Jodi Arias, Casey Anthony, Scott Peterson. Oh, is it too soon? They're out this long. That means
Casey Anthony and Scott Peterson. We got 70, and we are 36 minutes in. Look at her face.
They're locked. It's going to be a mistrial, but you never really know. So I had no idea when it went into Monday, but it just showed you how much time they took and how they each had a folder with all of their notes in there. And it shows, I'm curious to see what the breakdown was or what they all thought. Maybe one day we'll hear that, but it was interesting to see the whole process. And I believe they came to the right conclusion.
You know, I want to say I agree with you that I believe that if there had been audio or something from the courtroom, it would have helped. I think that was part of why this trial was so hard. Was it felt there was a sort of heaviness of like, we have to relay this information, and what everybody's hearing and what they're relaying it was broad and it was confusing. And I agree that it was a disservice to the public. I think this is one reason that as journalists, we believe in transparency. I understand why Judge Gould, made her choices, and I respect her decisions. But again, I think that had people been able to listen for themselves, I agree with you. I think it would have helped the entire process. I want to ask you really quickly about jury selection, because I was not there at jury selection. And there are a lot of questions about these jurors. How well did they know about this case? Can you give us, I mean, I know you don't remember each one maybe individually, but overall, your feeling about this jury.
Yeah. Well, my father's an attorney, and I said, I'm going to jury selection. And he said, why? It's kind of a mundane process to go. And
her father's an attorney and she knows nothing about jury selection? Her father's an attorney and he thinks that jury selection is a mundane process? It's one of the most important processes of the trial. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, you're kidding. Oh, damn. You just reminded me that Susan had Megan on. Oh, that'll be a good one, Kresha. It's a mundane process, jury selection. Are you freaking kidding me? Well, they got another thing in common. Lauren's like, yeah, my dad was a lawyer too, until he was disbarred.
He didn't realize I had never seen it, or maybe he just thought it's not that important in terms of the process. I think because he's seen it so often, clearly. But because HLN, of course, at CNN, you didn't show that. You don't want to show the juror. So it was interesting for me. But they did the question that was asked, and it was by Judge Gull. How many of you have heard about this case? And at first I saw them hesitant, and then a lot of them raised their hand in the group that was brought up. So that there was a whole section that was brought up. They sat down kind of where we were sitting, but this was Allen County, a much bigger courtroom. And then they would be called up, I believe, maybe 12 at a time. And then they were asked questions. And then McClelland would go up and ask questions. And then Rosie or Baldwin would ask questions. And then they'd go back to their desks and kind of write out notes of like who scratching out. And Richard Allen was involved. Like, no, yes, no. We didn't know why they picked a particular person. But then after that, Judge Gull would say, juror number 2, you're excused. Juror number 16, you're excused. So they would kind of leave the room, and then the next group was brought up. But a lot of people had heard about the case. Another question was, how many of you are law enforcement or have relatives who are? A lot of people raise their hand. And it was, okay, you've heard about the case. And then Judge Gull would say, juror number 2, how much? Tell us about that. Well, I heard about it just in passing at the dinner table, but does that mean you can make a fair decision? Will that impact how you decide or what you think of this case? Can you be fair and impartial? And this person said, I can be. And so that would not get them excused.
Kresha, have you seen that Nate is interviewing Lori's judge in flip-flops? Judge Justin Boreski.
Excuse, because it's still Indiana. I mean, people heard about it around
know
the
about this
country.
case.
Yeah. And so that was interesting for me. But this one woman, and Judge Gull said, look, we want you to be truthful. And McClelland was the first one up. He said, I don't care. I want you to tell me the truth so I can make the best decisions for this case for Richard Allen. But Judge Gull would say, another step was they'd read off their witness list. And do you know any of these people? Yes or no? If you do, raise your hand. If you don't. And this woman was in the front row, and back to had she heard about the case, she said, I have heard about it. Well, how? Well, I started a Facebook group and I already made my decision of guilt or innocence. You do? Yes. Well, would that change? No. So she was excused. And someone said, raised his hand. Is there any issue, Judge Gull said, of why you couldn't serve on this jury? And one guy raised his hand and he said, I was unemployed for so long, I finally got a job and I'd be worried about it. Is that where your mind would be? Would you be listening to the case or would you be worried? He said, worried. He was excused. There was one guy, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen any jury selection before, but it was, raise your hand, sir. He said, yes. He said, I'm a psychic. I could really be used as a witness for the prosecution, but I'm a psychic. And okay, so then we're on break and I walk out and he's excused and he walks next to me and said, I can hear Richard Allen's heartbeat in there. I said, oh.
Wow. She said, ow.
And I walk out and he's excused and he walks next to me and said, I can hear Richard Allen's heartbeat in there. I said, oh, and ran to the bathroom. So
you talked to him even.
She was scared. I ran to the bathroom. I wonder what these two think about Trisha from Web Sleuth's Ouija board behind her. If they're scared of someone who says they're psychic.
He said, I can hear Richard Allen's heartbeat in there. I said, oh, and ran to the bathroom. So
you talked to him even. I had heard of that story. That's interesting.
And then one more, there was a guy in his 30s in front row, kind of leaning back. And I'm like, oh my God, can he just be respectful? And he was answering so in a rude manner, but kind of funny. And then he just, is there any reason you can't? And he raised his hand saying, please don't put me on this case. I don't want to be on this, please. And it did get a laughter in court. And she said, I don't want to do it. And she said, well, then we don't want you to do it because they don't want someone on there. And there were, of course, women and men with kids, little kids. So any issue you could think of, they want people who can serve and whose mind will be fully in. And I think being sequestered, although it was probably excruciating,
No, she
considering we're
doesn't
all on our
ever.
phones, they couldn't use them unless a deputy was standing by, or they could write work emails with the deputy right there. Although I'm sure it was difficult for them, I think it helped them come to the conclusion that they did and be a fair and impartial jury. But I think seeing that process was eye-opening for me in a good way.
Good God.
Thank you for sharing that.
Breathe.
No, I appreciate that. A jury that we can trust then, in other words. They did their due diligence. Okay. And a variety. I was surprised by, I mean, as far as diversity goes, not very diverse as far as ethnicity goes, but it's Indiana and it's one county.
Jury of your peers, right?
It's
Older,
a jury of your
younger.
peers.
Mhm. And you're
Right.
trying to assess, like, what are they thinking? You can never tell. The only thing I noticed with the jury is the one guy on the top row always scanning the crowd, like always looking around and taking in the surroundings and looking at how people reacted to things. And there's one thing I do want to say for those who think Richard Allen did not get a fair trial.
Oh, what do you
That's
got
what the
to
appeals
say?
process is for. Do I think he'll get one? Not necessarily. But again, there were mistakes made, but I believe they do have the right guy. And there was overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence. But I always say, why would the family want the wrong guy in custody? That would mean that a child killer was out there.
Right.
And if you think maybe, someone else was involved, back to Paul Holes on his assessment, and his history will show you, he knows what he's talking about. It's that usually men like this work alone. And if he didn't, he would have mentioned that other person, I believe by now. It's very rare that, you can convince a guy to maybe rob a bank, but to do something like this, it's far-fetched. But again, I wouldn't want the wrong person in custody, of course. And if Richard Allen was innocent and I felt that, I would say that too. But I believe he is guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. The evidence, I sat there listening with open mind, and the evidence led me to the same place. Law enforcement got a lot of flack at this trial. There were mistakes made, but as you shared in your book, and I want to bring up your book again, but in your book, you got to know these law enforcement personally. You were at that 2000.
So she got to know law enforcement personally and write a book after all their fuck ups. Amazing.
2019 press conference with Doug Carter. Can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on law enforcement in this case?
I just think, and speaking of Doug Carter, I think he's a class act, and there's really no one like him that I've ever met in terms of different stories. And he always took the brunt of everything. He did interview after interview after interview. And he would always say, Susan, I can't say what I think. I can only say what I know. And right now, we can't tell you everything we know for the integrity of the investigation. And again, there were mistakes made. And when someone was in custody, it was October 31st, 2022. I did a panel, and he came on, and again, very modest. He said, I by no means am taking credit for this. There are people who put off retirement. As I mentioned in the book, some of the officers had their screensaver of Abby and Libby. They put their hearts and souls into this, and seeing what they saw. And now I know what they saw with the crime scene photos. This was very personal to them. It's a small community. And with Doug Carter, who I believe was leading this throughout, would always say, if it was something bad, take it out on me. And he said, Susan,
God, Doug Carter, we got to make that 72. Susan, you loved her. God, they're almost done. And Susan has not shut up.
Susan, how do you think I feel? And he wasn't feeling sorry for himself, but he did say, I have a grandfather, meaning Mike, asking me, why don't you have this guy? You know what he looks like. You know what he sounds like. Libby did her part. Do yours. At times, because he doesn't mince words. And he was saying, what is taking so long? What can I do? How can I help? And by no means were the family just following and not saying much. They were involved, and they wanted this solved just as much as anyone. And I'm grateful that Richard Allen did come forward and talk about what he wore. And I know that people say it's a small town. Even my father, who I mentioned, an attorney, would say, why can't they get the guy? He's on the bridge. He has that outfit on. And I said, well, Dad, it's very small. And I feel like everyone has that outfit, and the face was blurry. But I believe that Libby, in the closing arguments, Nick McClelland, and then the rebuttal of closing, so he has the final word, said that Libby always wanted to solve crimes. She did. She was interested in that. And he said, and she did her own, which was so touching. Oh my gosh.
I know. That moment I will not forget.
Stop it, Susan. Stop it. We're going to slow it to normal speed. I need to see this fake emotion.
Cleveland, and then the rebuttal of closing, so he has the final word, said that Libby always wanted to solve crimes. She did. She was interested in that. And he said, and she did her own, which was so touching. Oh my gosh.
I know.
You're not about to fucking cry. That is so fake. That is so fake, y'all. Put a 1 if you think that was fake. Watch. I wish the victims would analyze these people like we do. Watch. Susan Hendricks. Watch.
In that, and he said, and she did her own, which was so touching. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Do you feel the emotion? Do you feel the emotion there? Oh my gosh.
Which was so touching. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She's torn up. She's torn the fuck up over it. Unbelievable.
I know. That moment I will not forget. I want to bring up your book one more time, Susan. Down the Hill. It is an incredible book. If you guys want to understand this case and how it affected this town and the families and the details, this is the book. And I just want to thank you for writing it and for caring about this case. And I think there's a moment in a journalist's life where a story becomes bigger and it becomes a human interest story more. So you realize and you have to delve in and you have to do your part when you see something that needs a little bit more attention. And you certainly did that when you told this story. And for that, I thank you. You've taught me a lot. Again, like I always say, I jumped in and I looked to people like you, as I say, the experts to help me understand. John and I did all the research we possibly could, listened to all the podcasts, talked to as many people as we could before, but we weren't there, in 2019, we weren't there in 2017. And so I just want to thank you for caring about this enough that you did this. You were doing interviews every day. Oh, and one last story. I want to apologize. I was going live after the verdict. I jumped out and I was going live.
Yeah, it seems like you're kind of a target of hers. But Kresha, did you get your video back up yet? Has it been 10 days? Let me know.
In the car and
Good morning,
not
Witchy.
in the car. I was going live outside of the car. You were in our car using it because you had to do interviews, all these news interviews. You were doing news interview after news interview after. I felt so bad when you got out and you jumped the little corner, just so you know. I wasn't saying that Susan needs to get out of my car. I was like kind of wandering around going like, okay, I'm going to find a spot. She's there. And then all of a sudden you jumped out and I was like, I felt so bad. But
wow, thank you, Snazzy, for the 5 gifted. Bless Mom, Doodles, Belly May, Kim Robinson, and Forever Army.
Just help a brother out here.
Make sure you thank old Snazzy in the chat. Thank you, Snazzy, for the 5 gifted. Nice. Come on in and close your legs.
Well, speaking of you, John, I think you do an excellent job, and your husband nails it because we always ask the question.
Oh my God, your husband nails it. Check it out, Krisha. Let me know. It should automatically after 10 days. John,
I think you do an excellent job, and your husband nails it because we always ask the question. Why did he do that? Or why did she do that? You never really get the answer you're looking for, but you can kind of analyze and you want to know the process. And I always ask, is it nature or nurture? You never really know.
Yeah.
It's not formulaic. You never get the answer you want. But I think you and your husband do an excellent job on your show and of just kind of pinpointing how this could have come about. And back to the car thing, I was on Nancy Grace and she could love her. She's passionate, but she was saying,
Nancy Grace, I love her. She's passionate.
To the producer, I can't hear Susan. The wind is too loud. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then I just.
Oh my God. Nancy Grace. Hold on. Let me add that to the counter. That makes 73. Lauren's like, yeah, I've never been on Nancy Grace yet. You live my dream job. You're such a bitch.
Huddled in this. I think you and your husband do an excellent job on your show and of just kind of pinpointing how this could have come about. And back to the car thing, I was on Nancy Grace and she could love her. She's passionate, but she was saying to the producer, I can't hear Susan. The wind is too loud. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then I just huddled in this, like, because I knew you.
I think I got a shot of you at the very.
Nancy's probably a flaming biatch. Thank you, Salty. Jay is this great Sunday morning live. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Salty, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
End of my live, I'm like, there's Susan Hendricks, and you were sitting on the sidewalk in this little wind tunnel in a doorway.
And I should have clipped on a mic, but I didn't think of it, and everything was frantic. But I felt like, okay, the verdict is here. We have this. So it was a surreal moment for me. was on the ground sitting there and never been so content going, okay, can you hear me? No wind. But that was funny. No, it was scrambling all around. And when the verdict came out, I know you were outside too, but one person screamed, we're all Richard Allens. And again, I want to point out.
What? Wait, what'd she say?
Around sitting there and never been so content going, okay, can you hear me? No wind. But that was funny. No, it was scrambling all around. And when the verdict came out, I know you were outside too, but one person screamed, we're all Richard Allens. And again, I want to point out there is such a divide here of fair trial or not fair trial.
Yeah.
And there's even podcasters that I listened to or watched, YouTubers who said, going into this, I thought he was not guilty. Now I've heard from people inside the courtroom, and I do believe that he is. But again,
that was Nancy.
Why are people such idiots?
We wouldn't want the wrong person in prison. But I want to end on that you and your husband are doing such a great service by talking about everything that you saw in the courtroom, because of course there's no cameras or audio. So you're bringing that, and then the analysis, which I love.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate this interview so much. Thank you for taking your time out of your morning to do this interview, and we will definitely be in touch. And again, I'm there to buy the sequel to your book too, the post-trial sequel, if you ever.
Oh God, the post-trial sequel. Look at Susan. She's like, yep, it's in the works. Ghostwriter's on it now.
Again, I'm there to buy the sequel to your book too, the post-trial sequel, if you ever write it. But this book is incredible, and it's a book that if you want to understand this case, you start with Down the Hill by Susan Hendricks. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
That ended abruptly, didn't it? She brought up that fucking story about, oh my gosh, I was in the car, and then it was like, okay, we'll see you.
Okay,
we'll see you. We'll see you. So we have a total of 73 names that were dropped. We're done with that in 50 minutes. 73 in 50 minutes. If someone is good at math, maybe knows like algebra or something. I don't know any of that shit. Failed it. Never understood it. But we're getting into the Cooter DeVille.
A Cooter DeVille. I think the devil